What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of DC Action Hour.
Yay!
All right, what's up? My name is Jeff. Thank you very much for joining us. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Marx Pyle.
Hello, everybody.
And returning to the show as our guest co-host from Sci-Fi Pulse, it is Ian Cullen.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, thanks for being here. All right, folks. So this is our first episode in about a month. So we are going to talk all the latest episodes since then of Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl. So we got about 4 to 5 episodes. Talk about, including the big season finales of both Flash and Arrow that just recently wrapped up. So we're going to talk a lot about those. And Black Lightning and Legends, those finales happened in our last show. So those we talked about in our previous episode if you want to see our thoughts on those. All right, so, hey, I already see in the chat we got Victor Snyder and Lister's Mate. Lister's Mate says, there you are. And then Victor says, it's good to see you folks again. Oh, thank you. It's good to see you guys as well in the chat. We really appreciate you guys tuning in.
Peace.
All right, so we like to start, as always, with our super tweet question, which Marx came up with a very appropriate one. What is that?
The Thinker, Rain, and Malice were some of the most powerful villains the heroes have faced yet. Who do you think is the most powerful supervillain, and why in any story universe setting?
All right, and folks, if you're in the live chat, you can definitely share your thoughts in there, please, or on Twitter at @SuperGeekedUp. The Raisa actually had tweeted in just before we started that I don't think any villain is the most powerful because narrative structure dictates villain decay set in for the heroes to win. Deconstruction allowing for someone like Ozymandias from Watchmen is the only alternative, but that model gets old in turn. All right, so she thinks based on the story, the way stories go, that no villains are really super that powerful. But what do you guys think? I know, Ian, you said you had your answer all set, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with Darkseid. Simply because he ruled his own planet and he wants to rule the universe, and I want to see a crossover on DCU shows with Darkseid. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, it would be.
I mean, he is ridiculously powerful. So
yeah, well, so I just want to see another beatdown of Supergirl, and think that's the guy to do it. and Superman's going to have to come back and save her ass. So.
All right, do you realize that if Darkseid was there, Supergirl's like the only one who even has a chance to go against him, right? I mean, nobody else.
Well, Superman also.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I'm talking. Yeah, yes, you're right, of course. But I'm talking about kind of like the main people who are normally on these shows, like the main cast or the supporting cast.
There could be Blue Beetle. He could be that universe. Totally beat him.
First off, definitely not. I like Blue Beetle a lot, but he's getting his ass kicked by Darkseid.
And you know, you could go Marvel universe. That you could have Black Lightning and Darkseid have a dance off.
Wait, Black Lightning and Darkseid, you want to have a dance-off?
Yeah.
All right.
Huh? Are you talking about Star-Lord?
That's what I said. We could kind of go Marvel universe with it, and,
right.
you know.
Oh, okay. It could work. I like when they tried to explain the dance-off in Infinity War, and they're like, what?
Wait, is there I haven't seen it yet. Is there a dance-off in Infinity War? Is that what you're saying?
No, but somebody was trying to talk about the dance-off they did in the first Guardians of the Galaxy to some of the other heroes from Marvel Universe, and they're all just like, That's one of the best parts of Infinity War, just seeing all those different heroes meet and their personalities clash and stuff is pretty good. Which leads to my answer is probably just because I saw Infinity War a second time today, is Thanos, especially with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, based on the Greek god Thanatos, the Greek god of death.
Mm-hmm. We got Thanatos Guild episode and Arrow not too long ago.
That's true, we did. So I'm sorry, folks. I just realized I never put the link on our website, so I'm trying to do that as we do the show at the same time. But let me share some of the answers here on our live chat. Let's see what people said. I guess everybody's finding us anyway, even without the link. So that's good. Hey, our viewers are really smart. Great. So Carrie Johnson says, happy Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Carrie, for watching. Race is also in the chat. Says hi. Let's see here. Carrie says, the most powerful villain ever is the hero's doubt. Oh, and Racer says, good answer, Carrie.
That's a good answer.
That is really good, actually. Yeah. That's very common, right? The whole self-doubting thing, particularly when you're first discovering your powers.
Yeah, for sure.
This is not most powerful at all. I'm just going to go with one that came to my mind that I think was a really awesome villain. Well, actually, I'm going to go with a pair of people here. So, season 3 of Buffy is my favorite season of that show, and because the Mayor and Faith, I thought were awesome villains for that season, and so I think they're very, very interesting. And obviously, the whole Faith's where she actually didn't start as a villain, but then she went down that road. And I just love the Mayor character. He was very devious and fun.
He was. Graduation Day was a pretty cool episode.
Yeah, I didn't watch Buffy.
No, really?
What?
Nah, I never got into it.
All right. Well, hey, you got 7 seasons you can go watch if you like.
Nah,
Yeah.
I've not.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have to.
I mean, I've seen the movie. That was bad enough.
No,
It's very different than the movie.
You definitely cannot use the movie as a basis at all. Like, there's probably never been a bigger difference between a movie and a show than those two things.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
In the chat, let's see here. Victor says, I'm voting the classic Lex Luthor. He has ego and brains with no powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the Luthor of the current movies. I don't like him. But all the other interpretations are great.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. Like, has there really been... I mean, like, my favorite is Michael Rosenbaum in Smallville. Like, he just nailed that. I just love that.
Well, I really like... what's his name? The voice actor who does Lex Luthor. Used to do him all the time.
Oh, I know who you mean. Clancy... something.
Yeah,
Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. I love that voice that he does with it, and I love that version of the character. It had a lot of nuance to him, especially for animated.
Yeah. Who did him in Lois and Clark? Was that Julian Glover that did it in Lois and Clark, or another actor?
I don't remember his name, but yeah, he was good in that too. He had hair for a while.
He did, yeah.
I hope they bring Lex Luthor into Supergirl because they're talking about him all the time now. I just feel like it would be a shame not to see him break out of prison at some point.
Yeah, what they'll do is Lena Luthor will shave her head and they'll sort of modulate a voice or something so it goes deeper. That way they don't have to cast someone.
She'll be like, I was Luthor all the time.
Yeah, she'll just rip her face off, reveal.
Lex never had a sister, really. It's an alternate identity that he could use.
But do you guys... I mean, I agree that particularly in the last couple episodes of Supergirl, it feels like they're really talking about Lex a lot. So it feels like they're setting that up. But I don't know. Do you feel that would take away from Lena and, like, if we introduce Lex?
Well, if they never make her a villain, it won't take away from her.
I think if they bring Lex in and do it right, it could actually strengthen Lena. I
think Lena's amazing as she is right now. Like, I love that character.
Well, I think she's good as she is, but I think if you bring Lex in, it would actually strengthen Lena's position as a good guy. You know, whereas at the moment her relationship with Supergirl is complex, to say the least.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that for sure.
And it's
we're gonna talk. I want to talk about when we get into Supergirl a little bit more about that whole dissolving of the friendship there, which I have been predicting since last season. So I figured I was gonna go that route. All right, we'll talk about it later. All right, so in the chat, Victor says, I agree with Jeff about Lex from Smallville, and Raisa says, Clancy Brown rocked. Victor says, one rule for playing Lex Luthor is to speak in a complete sentence. Okay. All right. I like that. And then Raisa says, John Shea was Lex and Lois and Clark.
That's the one, yeah.
There you go. Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all that chatting there. And again, feel free to keep sharing who you think is the most powerful supervillain from any universe. All right. So, all right. I guess we're going to go. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I think Julian's mother came to my mind because he actually played the devil in a show called Brimstone, and I get them too confused.
He was Lex's dad in Smallville.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah. That's the other one. Yeah, but he was in a good show called Brimstone, which only went for about a season, where he played the devil.
Oh wait, Lionel Luthor you're talking about?
Yep.
Smallville? He was great. Mm-hmm. That guy was awesome.
He was.
He was proper villain as well.
What? Hell yeah, he was, man. It's great. Yeah. All right.
Let's look like a nice guy.
You're right, actually. He kind of did. Yeah. Listeners mate in the live chat says some of the best villains you have to question if they are a villain or not because they're on the line of both good and bad. DC is showing that with Gorilla Grodd, Killer Frost, and Livewire. That's a good point. I always do like the kind of those characters who, kind of skirt the line between good and bad. Those are always fun.
Yeah. Well, the Livewire is more of a dead wire now.
That was terrible. That was in bad taste. Poor Anthony, who loves that character now. All right.
I think she'll come back. She'll come back.
She had a kid. She dropped a kid before she died called Sparky.
Great. Like it's not bad enough with Marx's jokes. Now I have to hear you. Victor says Lena and Supergirl is a fine way of showing good people disagreeing about means to an end, and Carrie says he agrees with that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's more believable than the bickering and Arrow that we had.
Oh,
absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, that is for sure. Jeez.
I mean the bickering Arrow is not being like kindergarten. It's being like kids.
Yes. Well, hey, speaking of that, is that the first show we're going to talk about, Marx?
Sure. I didn't know if you want to talk about any news or not, but yeah, we can talk about Arrow.
Oh, yeah, let's do some news in the middle. How about that?
All right, cool. All right, so Arrow season 6 wrapped up. We got since we last talked, we had 4 episodes, I think. Shifting Allegiances, Docket number 11, 19, 41, 73. Say that 10 times fast. The Ties That Bind, and Life Sentence. Mm-hmm. So, and within that, we had a lot of bickering between Team Arrow and not Team Arrow, then Team Arrow becoming just Arrow, and then Arrow being like, I gotta go back to my roots, my original mission, and get on drugs for a little while with Vertigo, and
you have failed this city.
And then Dragon taking over the Quadrant, which is like a mafia type organization that controls the majority of crime throughout the whole country, apparently, and who apparently do not have very good bodyguards. And what else did we get? We got we had a court trial. We got to see Tommy Merlin again, sort of, kinda. That was pretty cool. Get to see the actor back. Which actually, man, my back is itching so bad. Sorry, guys. It's right in that spot where you just can't reach it. You're just
that's his kryptonite, folks.
And that was I forgot his name. Chance, the Human Target. Christopher Chance, yeah. Who, if you didn't know, Human Target used to be a TV show once upon a time, based on the comic book.
Unfortunately, it was sort of cancelled. It was a nice show, that as well.
Yeah. And so we got to see him again. We got to see the face of Tommy Merlin. They used that trick to get him out of jail for a hot minute until he had to make a deal with the Misty Knight FBI clone. I can't remember her name. Watson, that's right. And then they took down most of Dragon's forces, but not until Dragon had already made some new friends called the Longbow Hunters. And so now we're left with Oliver in a Supermax prison, and Dragon wanting revenge, Longbow Hunters being teased. So who knows what's going to happen?
Is dead?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah, he unfortunately passed away from getting shot by Dragon, and Black Siren's all torn up about it, and so I guess we'll see more Black Siren as she tries to redeem herself.
I don't know. I mean, it looked like it could go either way when in that final scene she had, because if you look at it, Sarah Nance went over to Felicity for a hug and all that, and Black Siren was like kind of in a corner there on her own, and
that's because somebody likes her.
The look on her face was sort of it's like, I will have my revenge.
Well, she was also crying a little bit too. But yeah, but she's not really the huggy kind of person, so and nobody else really likes her that much, or at least trusts her. So for good reason.
In the chat, Rachel Marshall just joined us as well. Hi, folks. Hi, Rachel. Glad you're here.
Hi. What was that?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Rachel. This is our weird guest host, Ian.
He's British, that's why.
Yeah.
Yes, do you like my accent?
It's really good. Yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot. It's different than last time we've been on. Marx, is my audio still all right?
You actually turned a little deep voice.
I had a feeling. All right, keep talking.
It's okay. It goes real well with Ian's.
Yeah, I'm dark side.
We're all going to do different voices.
Keep talking. I'm going to fix this.
So,
I'm sorry, is my audio fixed now? I was having a few problems with that there.
Oh, were you having problems? You're a little quiet, but I can hear you, Ian.
All right, how's that?
Yes, you're good.
Okay, cool.
So, we're just going to talk in general about the finale and about the season, those remaining episodes, what we liked, what we didn't like. I think it's no secret that a lot of fans got a little frustrated and such with this season, turn of events. And there is a new showrunner for next season. I don't know if that directly has anything to do with that fan feedback or not, or just coincidence. But it will be interesting to see how next season, what they do with it now that this is set. So it could really invigorate the show. We'll see. But some of my problems with the season. Well, first, let's be positive. And some of the stuff I liked about the season was and you guys tell me if you like too, I liked Slade being in those early episodes.
Absolutely.
I liked Roy. I liked the Thanatos Guild episode fairly well. We got to see Roy again, who we will see again next season.
Yeah, we got to see Thea, kicking butt in the costume again. It was a nice send off for Thea, I felt.
Yeah, it was a nice send-off for her character. If you guys don't know from previous episodes, the actress had been kind of... we'd been talking about she hasn't been used very much the last couple seasons because she wanted to do less episodes for her own personal reasons, and now she wanted to leave the show. So that's why they wrote her out, and I think it was a pretty good way to write her out. What else was positive about the season? I think... Oh yeah, so Diggle being Green Arrow for a little while was pretty cool. I liked it.
I thought the storyline where he got hooked on the on the drugs to sort of like make him be able to go out was pretty good, but I think that they kind of maybe resolved that a little bit too quickly.
It was maybe a little bit, but I didn't really want to see him on drugs that much, so I was okay with that.
It's like I want to see Diggle on drugs for a whole season.
Oh, God, that'd be terrible. In the chat, by the way, Racist says Slade was awesome. I think everybody loves Slade.
I think so, too. He needs his own show, or be regular on a show. So yeah, so those are good. Was there anything else positive?
The fight scenes were their best they've ever been on Arrow this season.
Yep.
They've had good fight scenes. And we got to see Cassandra on an episode, which is good.
Cassandra Ebner, who's been on our show and is super geeked up a few times, who's a stunt woman on the show. She got to play an actual acting part as well.
Yeah, awesome. Sorry, I got like a mosquito buzzing around me.
So mosquitoes and back scratching are Marx's enemies.
I think that's why my back's scratching. I think a mosquito bit me in my back. So
yeah, I was really happy to see Nissa Al Ghul, return.
Oh, you're totally right, Ian. I love Nissa so much.
Well, I just love Katrina Law.
Yeah.
You know, she's kind of like my not very secret crush.
She's amazing. We're gonna have her on this show. That's what we gotta do.
I liked. Well, I didn't like that Quentin died, but I liked that it was a sad kind of send off to him. That, yeah, it was poignant.
It was touching.
And if you guys don't know, the actor's got another gig. He's going to be a regular on star on a different TV show.
Which show?
Yep.
What's that?
Which show?
What show? I don't know. It's on NBC or CBS or something. It's like he's a cop. Him and his partner helped this girl or this woman who's I think she's psychic or something. So they just gave out a little bit of information on it. So.
I think he should have magical powers and carry a staff around, and it should be in Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah, they already did that.
No, yeah. They should bring it back.
Used to be Harry Dresden on Dresden Files. Sci-Fi Channel messed it all up. Otherwise,
it's really funny though, because when having read those Dresden Files books, I can't actually picture him as Dresden.
I think it was a good fit for Dresden.
Yeah, he worked. He had the snarkiness to him. He just didn't have the long hair and stuff that he is in the books. I think he looks kind of weird. I mean, it works for the books, but I think when you sit down and think about it in real life,
yeah, you don't want to
like, man, this guy looks like a complete weirdo. He'll walk around with his long hair and his trench coat with his little staff and stuff, and it's like, what? This guy's kind of weird. We'll get some looks.
In the live chat, Raisa says it's a Ghost Whisperer variant on NBC, the show that you're talking about. Carrie said, watching Diggle and Lila working together in the field was awesome. I'd watch that show. That was pretty cool. And Lister's Mate says, the best part of the season was Cassandra Ebner being on her and the multi-crossover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The multi-crossover. We got Nazis. So that's good.
Nah, that was not a highlight for me.
It was a good, fun little adventure.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that again. I think
The only thing I liked about it was a poignant send off for what's his face, half of Firestorm. What can't I think of his name?
Oh yes, it was.
The hell, Professor what? What's his name?
Stein.
Thank you.
Martin Stein.
Yeah.
Martin Stein.
Wow, Ian and these voices today, it's amazing.
Which Legends was probably... I finally caught up on Legends. I watched it all. I binged it. It was by far the best season of they've had so far. Yes.
I love that.
The finale was fantastic. It was...
I love that Bebo kicked their asses.
Wait, hey, Con, stop ruining it for me. Although I do love Bebo, so that sounds good to me.
You got to watch the finale at least. It's worth it.
Yeah, I do a good job.
And their Groundhog Day kind of episode was very well done too. So I have to give them hats off to the writing staff for that. They did a good job. That and the ET episode, and that they did some really good writing this season. But anyway, we're talking about Arrow. So here's some of the negatives from my standpoint. You add whatever your thoughts are. I think so. We had Caden James quite a bit and a large chunk of the season, the first half of the season. He had his alliance, and then the big twist was that actually Dragon was going to be our big bad. That Dragon had been really playing Caden James all on, killed Caden, all that good stuff. So I don't have anything against that. I think that's an interesting twist and turn. It didn't work out so well because of the pacing. They waited a few episodes after that turn to actually show Dragon much and actually give us a little bit of his backstory and motivations and stuff and show us why he's supposed to be so dangerous. Which I don't know if they 100% succeeded in that, but it was a good episode. But it waited way too long to do it.
Yeah, they did. They waited way too long to do it, and I also felt that they kind of wasted the actor who played Caden James. Forget his name. Michael Emerson. He kind of felt kind of wasted in that.
That's funny. As soon as you were saying that, Race put in the chat, they utterly wasted Michael Emerson.
Yeah. They pretty much had him play a character he's played before and didn't really stretch too far.
He was basically the person of interest character.
Yeah. with an evil twist.
Yeah, just more evil.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So, because I want to like Dragon, but they just don't. Or, okay, so there's another thing, right, in writing, right? Show don't tell, and I think we've been just told a lot of stuff rather than shown it. Like, we've been told repeatedly that Dragon's so dangerous, he's so bad, oh my gosh. And I'm like, I haven't really seen anything to make me think he's any worse than anybody else we've seen. Like, how's he worse than Dark, more powerful than Dark, or even Merlin for that matter? And
I would say he's actually the weakest villain they've ever had on the show.
well, I think he's better than Brick, but yeah.
Brick? Who is that?
Yeah, that was that guy. Is like, I tell you what, if you could pick up that gun and shoot me before I kill you with my bare hands, then you got me. Except with Irish.
He wasn't like a real villain of the whole season, though, right, or anything.
No, but he was a good chunk of a season. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I know he isn't. He doesn't seem that way. Like, why is Black Siren so scared of him? Like, the way I saw it, Black Siren, he should be scared of Black Siren. Like, he needed Black Siren to back him up to take out the Quadrant and take over the Quadrant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he needed tact to shut her up, and she could have taken him out at any time she wanted to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think both kind of villains. Here you got two amazing actors, and I think the talents were both kind of wasted this season. You've already talked about Michael Emerson, but Kirk Acevedo, that one episode which was called Dragon that we talked about last show, and Marx, you and I think both really loved it. I know not everybody did.
Yeah, I loved that. I loved the episode.
And that his acting was amazing in that, right? But then every other episode, and particularly all the ones after that, I feel all he was doing, they just had him like screaming and yelling, about how pissed he is, and it was like, this villain sucks. Like, I had one great episode with him in Dragon, and then the rest of them were like, what a loser this villain is. Like, get him out of here. Like,
yeah, I mean, he had much more to do in 12 Monkeys than he did in this.
Yeah, he's much better. 12 Monkeys and Fringe, he's done so much more. He can give us a lot of, layers to a character if it's there in a script. Or the director.
Racist says, agree completely on Diaz. I think Carrie was pointing this out last show too. Yeah, I mean, I don't believe like that somebody wouldn't have taken him out a long time ago. Like you're saying, Mark's like, he's not that great. Like what's so great about him? And
it's like the Quadrant. Like he just shoots one in the head and they're all like, oh. And then later on he just slashes one in the throat and goes, I'm the boss now, got it? Oh, okay. I'm like, what kind of crime lords are these guys?
I know. I was thinking about that today.
Accountants or something. It's like
it's so ridiculous. Like, if that was really happening, if the Quadrant was as bad as as the show made them out to be, again, well, at least they told us they were really bad, right? And awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The Quadrant would have just shot him as soon as he walked into the room, or at least after he killed one of their guys, they would have just executed him right on the spot.
Yeah.
Like, what? If he can just take them all out like that, the Quadrant must be the worst crime family in the history of, like, the whole world or something,
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, it's
like, you don't say somebody's amazing and then show them getting, like, taken out so easily. They're not amazing at all then.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're at their most amazing when they were in the episode of the Dragon, and after that they just sort of folded.
Mm-hmm.
They folded like a deck chair.
Yeah.
So we got some different comments here on the chat. Lister's Mate says, Dragon's storyline was the best ever. It showed how respect and power can control people's motivation and their behavior. Just have Laurel throw him into a river with a sonic blast was pitiful. So he didn't like the finale there. Carrie says, what disappointed me most about Arrow, other than Lance's delusions about Laurel, was failing to portray Black Siren as nothing more than a vehicle to tell Caden Diaz and Lance's story. Tell her story. Yeah, I mean, she's the most powerful of all of them that were the villains this season.
Yeah, she can be, yeah. I mean,
I found her most interesting, though, because she was walking that line, trying to sing, am I going to try to become better than what I am and not a villain? Like, am I going to try to form a bond with my kind of father, from this other Earth?
Yeah.
That was interesting to me.
It was written better in some episodes than others, or it was more believable in certain episodes than others. So I don't know, but I just have a hard time. Like, what is Dragon done to make you think he's any worse than Zoom? I mean, Zoom was pretty bad.
Oh
bad
my God,
guy.
Zoom would have killed Dragon in like a nanosecond.
Right? He's way more powerful, and he's not like, oh, he set him on fire. Oh, it's pretty bad and stuff. But you know, it's not like Zoom hasn't done brutal things before and killed people. So it just wasn't believable.
Speaking of that, I didn't know this. Listener's Mate said, however, there was irony with Dragon's death. It was the same spot that he killed his lifetime nemesis by setting him on fire. Was that the same spot?
Oh, I don't know. Could be.
I didn't think about that. I don't know.
It's a rooftop. I don't know if it's the same rooftop or not.
And I think Lister's Mate thinks he's dead. I don't think he's dead at all.
No, he's not dead. They showed him.
Yeah, they did show him in the final scene.
Yeah, he was watching TV, watching news and stuff.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. He was watching TV with a very leering look on his face, as if, you know, look kind of constipated.
Like, I'm gonna set you all on fire. Hate you all.
The Magniter here.
Yeah, so it will be a little different than other seasons. Our big bad will continue. His story will continue next season.
That's a big mistake, I feel, and a bad start to season 7, because number one, he sucks. The character. The actor I think is amazing, and when he got to show his chops in that one episode. I wish they just made his character a lot better. Kirk Acevedo's great, but I don't want to see Dragon anymore. I don't want to see him as the villain next season, or even part of next season.
Well, they'll be the longbow hunters, and they're going to be way more dangerous. So.
But okay, fine. But let's get rid of Dragon and let's have the longbow hunters then.
That gives them reason to want to kill him though, because Dragon will pay him probably or whatever, or work with him. Yeah. I'm curious to see what they do with this version of the longbow hunters.
You've been waiting.
Be interesting. Yeah, I've been waiting for that. I think it's a good storyline. They really should have just. I don't know. They tried to do too much in one season. I think because the whole season of Dragon done properly, introduced properly, combined with longbow hunters have been really great. Oh well. We'll have a new show run.
In the chat, Carrie says the Siren X character in the episode of Flash should have been the Siren we got in Arrow. That was a cool version of her, actually. She was evil.
She's more powerful too. She got a little sonar.
She was crazy powerful, actually. The most powerful version we've seen of that character.
Yeah, it'd be cool if we ever see her fight Black Siren.
Of the one we have in the Arrow, you mean?
Yeah,
that's the
Siren
Earth,
X.
That's the Earth 2 Black Siren, right? That we have an Arrow.
Yes, yeah, that's correct. Yes.
What happened to Siren X? Did they just lock her up, Siren X?
Yeah, that's her name is Siren X.
No, but did they lock her up? Did they capture her? They didn't kill her, right? What happened?
I think they caught her, didn't they?
Well, they don't kill anybody in Flash. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're not usually killing people as often.
Yeah. Let's see, what else we got here? Race says they'll cast cool actors as hunters, those longbow hunters. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. There's a lot the showrunners can do with it. You know, they haven't said a whole lot about them except they're just really tough assassins.
Mm-hmm. What I want to know is how they're going to get Ongi out of prison.
I don't know, but everybody knows his identity, so he probably doesn't want to even get out of prison. Would just put his family in danger, right?
Mm.
I figure if things get bad enough, Argus will give him some kind of like Suicide Squad kind of pardon thing, right? Right?
Or they'll probably kill him for this to become Arrow.
No, can't get out of here.
Well, we know Roy Harper comes back because he's pardoned now, right? He just doesn't have to worry about prison. So maybe he becomes Red Arrow for a while, or Arsenal, or whatever, and help protect.
Do you think Diggle is going to do the Arrow suit again now?
I don't know.
They were alluding to it, weren't they? You know, when he was watching the trial, you know, the thing on the news. At Argus, he had the Arrow suit.
Well, because Oliver gave it. Yeah, Oliver wants him to do it.
It'd be cool if he did. I don't know if they will, but it'd be cool.
Particularly because it was so important to him, although now it really wasn't actually.
Yeah, right. That's the big problem of this whole season.
Yeah,
is all that bickering they had. Instead of Civil War, it was bickering war.
This is how not to do a civil war.
Yeah, because they thought that's what they were trying to do. Is they said they were trying to make their own kind of civil war scenario.
Oh my god!
Yeah, did not work.
I mean, okay, that idea is not necessarily a bad idea, but what a terrible execution of it.
Right.
Well, Civil War was done much better.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Civil War was like it was an ideological issue where you could see one side or the other being correct, and you had two veteran leaders who took one side and the other, and then the team split. With this one, you just had a lot of random.
My dad's bigger than your dad. That's basically what it was.
Yeah, it was just new guys against the old guys, which is not a good way to break it probably, because we're all going to side with the older team members that we know. And then it was just lots of different reasons that broke them up, and they were just not very important reasons, not compared to the great threat they had. That's another thing with Civil War. Civil War, they weren't like, hey, Earth's being invaded by the Skrull, but let's fight over this ideological issue and fight each other or something. They would combine forces to fight this greater threat. And we had like the city going to explode. We hijacked for weeks. We had all these worst case scenarios happening, and here this new Team Arrow was sitting and going, yeah, I'm going to talk like a teenager and just go like, I don't like you, Arrow. You're such a jerk, Oliver.
Shut your face, you. Shut it.
And you just sit there going, ugh, are you really? I mean, come on.
You're right, though. Here's the thing. If it was like Oliver and Diggle on opposing sides, and there was like an actual issue, like maybe one of them was like, we got to start killing people. That's the way we got to do it. And the other was like, no, we can't kill it. Or something like that. That could have worked.
Yeah. That could have worked.
But
it could have worked. Yeah. Or if there's a vigilante law and they're like, some of you can work with the police if you reveal your identity or something. Something like Civil War.
You have a Civil War with those mosquitoes right now.
I know, right? It's just one mosquito buzzing around me. It's terrible.
Is it radioactive?
Oh, great. What? Radioactive, so he'll become Mosquito Man? Awesome.
Right? I'm going to get it eventually. Sorry.
In the chat, Listeners May says, I'm sure Ollie will get out of prison, and like they did on The Flash with the Thinker. Carrie says, I hope Arrow adapts Suicide Squad stories for Ollie and let Huntress do a guest spot. I'm down with that. Hell yeah, more Huntress.
That'd be great. It'd be a great opportunity. The only reason I think they wouldn't do Suicide Squad is because of the movies, but hopefully Warner Brothers can just ignore that red tape. It's kind of silly sometimes.
Yeah.
It's silly most of the time, Regan, because
it's always silly. It's like the biggest advantage they have, and then they handcuff themselves. It's so weird.
Interestingly, they don't handcuff themselves in the animated films that they do.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So,
oh well.
I'm totally with you, though, on this season. The whole thing with the different different Team Arrows, going at each other. And you're right. It was excruciating at times to watch. Just like, and particularly because I thought the Team whiny Team Arrow was just so in the wrong and just so ridiculous, and they couldn't, I don't know, and they refused to apologize for anything or see that they did anything wrong, and they let that play out for such a long time, and none of the conflicts felt organic to me, like him and Diggle. And then even when all that was over, like in maybe the second to last episode, him and Felicity are having problems, and she's giving him a hard time for not wanting her in the field. And at that point, I was just like, seriously, guys, every freaking episode, you have to have somebody bitching at Oliver and giving him a hard time. And he's been like the bigger man throughout the whole season and really grown. Like, why do we have to watch this, that every single person has a problem with him, and they all feel like these just non-organically generated things that they're writing to cause problems for him, I got so sick of it. Honestly, before the season finale, I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to watch this next season. I was so frustrated with the season. Like, it almost went below season 4 for me, like in being that bad, which I feel has been the worst season they've ever done. I got so sick of it. It was so annoying. And then the finale did redeem. I think that was actually a very good episode. So it definitely redeemed some stuff. And it was nice to see all the reconciliation, you know. And again, it showed how big of a, you know, guy Oliver did, that he went and he actually apologized for everything.
But they almost never, even then,
only Dinah did back. Only Dinah gave him something back, and the rest of them were kind of just like, yeah, they accepted it, but like, yeah, you should apologize. We didn't do anything wrong. Like, you know, you're a fucking asshole. Like, why? I don't know. Like, why does he have to be the only one? I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I don't get, like, I guess the writers really feel like everybody else was in the right and he was in the wrong. Like,
I don't know. I feel like maybe there was their own little civil war in the writers' room where, like, someone's like, we got to make Oliver more grown up, and then other people are like, oh, well, we got to have this rift, and they're just like, okay, well, Oliver's gonna be the better man then and admit he's wrong, and they're like, well, that's fine. They're not gonna admit they're wrong or something. I don't know. I don't know what the.
That'd be funny if it was a writers' civil war.
Now that'd actually be an interesting season, wouldn't it? The Arrow writing room.
I don't know, because I felt like it did feel a little like there was like they wanted Oliver and that team to be so much, or especially Oliver, be so much more mature and grown. I remember them saying something about that before the season started too, that you're going to see a more mature Oliver, and he's more of a leader now, or more grown up, and blah blah, better man. And I think they really want to stick to that, but then they wanted to do the Civil War thing. It's like, you can't really, I mean, you can't do that without us seeing both sides, and you're just not giving us much to really care about Team Arrow's, or not Team Arrow's side. You know, they just seem like jerks.
It would have made more sense if they did that in previous seasons, where Oliver maybe was kind of being more jerky at times, you know.
Yeah, there's been times that's happened. I mean, they all quit one time, and then he had to, like, say sorry, and they got back together with it because he was so hard on him before. You know, so there's been times where he has been a jerk. It's like the one time he's not, they all just hope everybody abandoned him. It's so bizarre.
See, I mean, and I love actually how Oliver's developed. That's great. And I think actually the way he is right now is actually the way almost everyone should be. Like, you can take a lot of lessons from what he's, you know, actually seeing the other side, reaching out and offering the apology in the olive branch. But that's great. Like, that's awesome. I think that's a great thing for a hero to be. But you need to get some of that back from the other side too, you know?
Yeah.
Or you can't have a relationship with those people if they're not going to give you anything back.
Yeah. It is. Oh, well. Hopefully they'll learn from that.
In the chat, Racist says, I agree. Watching Arrow was almost unwatchable. Drove me away from show until the finale. Lister's mate says, yeah, Ollie had to deal with a lot of demeaning, degrading, belittling, and toxic behavior this season. Racist says, it was disjointed at a meta level, writers unfocused. That's the thing. I actually haven't, and I know obviously we don't hear from everybody, of course, but I haven't heard anybody who thinks that's been great. You know, like, oh, I love that 2 Arrow thing, and that was a great thing how they had them, you know, fighting with each other.
Yeah, I actually haven't either. I'm sure there's somebody.
There got to be.
Some
because
people
I remember when I went to Dragon Con last year, like, our thoughts on Kara and Supergirl were not at all what most of the crowd thought in the panel I moderated. And I was like, oh, that's actually very interesting. I'm getting to see a lot of different thoughts. That's great. So I'm curious when we go this year if maybe some people will actually say, like, yeah, we love Civil War.
That was the best thing ever Arrow did. Greatest season ever.
Which is totally fine if you dug that. Yeah, I have no issue with that. It didn't work for me.
No. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're done talking about Arrow, if you guys agree.
One thing I will add, though, is the courtroom episode, which is a docket number, which is a terrible title for an episode, but I actually thought that was really good. I like that one. Like, it was pretty riveting. For once, we actually got a lawyer on one of these shows that was, like, super competent, you know, and awesome.
Like, yeah, she's from Stargate.
Hang on. Oh, she was the doctor, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
In Stargate SG-1. Yeah, I know her, dude. Yeah, she was really good at it. That was great. And I loved the
I've met her.
Well, all right, well, that's great. Was she cool? Was she cool?
Yeah, she's cool. She offered me a cigarette, which was...
I don't smoke, so I don't want that, but all right.
Well, I smoked at the time, but, you know...
And I love the Merlin, Tommy Merlin reveal. Like, that, I was like...
Yeah.
I was almost jumping out of my chair. I was like, what an awesome idea.
It is. It is a good idea. It makes a lot of sense, too, as a cover.
I never saw that one coming.
Alrighty, so do we want to rank it, rate it?
What are we ranking this finale? Maybe what? Should we rank the finale and then the season as a whole?
Sure.
All right. So we do this out of boxing glove arrows, with 4 boxing glove arrows being the highest ranking. You can do 0.5s or 2.5s or whatever you want. So let's start with the season finale of Arrow. Ian, what do you give that on a 4 boxing gloves arrow scale?
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 3.
All right, 3 boxing glove arrows. And in the chat, of course, folks, you can rank it as well. Marx, what do you give it?
I give it a little higher for the finale. I don't know if it's 3.5 or not. Maybe 3.25.
I think I'm going to go 3.5 for the finale. I think the finale was really well done. And it was much needed after all the garbage we had to wade through.
Yeah.
So I know now the season as a whole, this is so much trickier. Right? Because again, I actually feel the first half felt like they were on track, or at least the first third maybe of the season.
Yeah, like the first third or so.
First third, and then they just went off the rails.
Yeah.
Oh man, let's see here. In the chat, Carrie says I didn't watch the finale. All right, so Carrie, actually that is well worth watching. It's probably one of the best things they did this season. He gives the season a 3. Reza gives the finale 2.75, the whole a 2.
Ooh.
I don't know if I can do much higher than that. Jeez.
I'm a 2 for the whole season as well.
Yeah, this season was rough, man.
Yeah, I'd actually be tempted to go lower.
I'll go 2.25 for the season.
Yeah, I think that's the highest I can go is 2.5.
Well, I think the highest I can go is a 2. The lowest I can go is a 1.75.
Okay. Buzz 1014 AJ says I did not see it, but I'm back, and I'm back. Yes, welcome to the chat. Thanks for being here. All right, so there you go. So if you haven't seen Arrow, I guess just skip the whole season until the finale.
Well, Thanatos Guild was a good episode.
You're right. Actually, you're right. That anything with Nissa and Thea and Roy.
And the 1 or 2 episodes of Slade were good too.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so pick a handful. There's a handful of episodes that are really actually well done.
And then just forget everything. Just skip everything else.
Right.
Watch the previously on, and then you're good to go.
All right. So I want to talk some news now before we get on to Flash and Supergirl.
Sure.
Hey, you want to talk before we forget? Want to talk Batwoman?
Yeah.
Dinner.
What'd you say?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Dinner, Batman. Dinner.
Oh, you're doing like the theme song? All right. So anyway, what's the news about Batwoman, Marx?
So Stephen Amell at a convention, I can't remember the name of the convention, did reveal that the element that's going to link the shows in the next crossover for next year, the CW DC shows, is it's going to be Batwoman. So they're going to introduce Batwoman to the CW, to the Arrowverse, and which we assume Gotham City also. So,
Batwoman, is that Kate Kane's Batwoman? I think.
I believe so. Yes. The red-haired, the newer one that came out 10 years ago.
Yeah, not that long ago. I remember I started reading that when it first came out. I liked her. She was cool. Costume's cool.
Yep. Yeah. I'm curious to see what they do, and curious to see what this means, if there is a Batman or not.
Well, there is, because in the episode of season 4, Ollie actually mentions the Batman and Gotham.
Mentions Bruce Wayne.
Mentions Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, well, if there's Bruce Wayne, it's a Batman.
So there must be the Batman somewhere.
Yeah, and we don't know if Batwoman is Batwoman in Gotham of Earth 1 or whatever Earth that Supergirl's on, or some other Earth. There's no telling. So,
how about, can we just make a Batwoman show? That would be cool.
That would be cool. They got a lot of shows, though. Although,
but look, if we go to this thing that Race and everybody else has been, other people have been saying about 12 episode or 13 episode seasons, then you can fit all these other shows in.
Exactly.
True.
And they cancel the Vampire Diaries spin-off, so can fit a whole lot more in.
Yeah. Oh man, the Supernatural fans were so ticked off
about what?
because they're supposed to. They had done a backdoor pilot for Wayward Sisters.
Oh yeah.
And it didn't get picked up.
Wasn't that wait? I thought that was last season. That was this current pilot season. They did that.
Yeah. They did a backdoor pilot a year or two ago, also of a different show or different concept. But Wayward Sisters was this year, and there's a big movement behind that. For a couple of years now, and they didn't greenlight it. Instead, they greenlit they're ending originals, but they greenlit a spinoff of originals and Vampire Diaries.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they're also going to do a Charmed reboot.
Those bastards!
Yeah. So, and stuff like that. They got a bunch of different shows going on. But I'm sure those shows are just fine. They're going to be fine. But yeah, Wayward Sisters people were upset.
Yeah, but why does the world need a Charmed reboot?
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't really, no.
Because here's the thing. Unfortunately, just like with movies now, TV is just rebooting everything. There's a Magnum PI new show next season.
Oh yeah.
Everything's being rebooted. It's my biggest problem with the current state of movies and TV.
Yeah, I mean, so
there's no originality anymore.
Mine are prequels.
About the MacGyver reboot. Yeah. I mean,
that was terrible. Yeah. No, you're right. Well, yes, prequels. That's the thing. None of it's original, right? It's just kind of like we're just doing the same shit again and again.
Yeah, I hate prequels. Mostly, I should say, for every single thing.
Can't wait for that Alfred Pennyworth prequel.
Yes. Yeah, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I got on a little rant there whenever about Pennyworth. Yeah, because we have Krypton also and Gotham, and I mean, Marvel hasn't done it yet, but DC is just totally obsessed with prequels, and so are other shows, of course, too, Star Trek and other things. But
you know what? Maybe that's why I haven't watched Krypton yet, and I know Rachel, who is in the chat, she loves it. I think it's because it is a prequel, and it's like, and I'm like, I don't really care about Clark Kent's grandfather or whatever it is, right?
I know.
Zor-el.
Is that his name? Zor-el?
Yes, Zor-el.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the Atlantis prequel, so we find out how Atlantis sunk, and then the sequel to that, where we find out how Atlantis' parents first met, and he would be eventually born in the final episode.
You mean Stargate Atlantis or Atlantis like Aquaman?
Aquaman Atlantis, sorry. Okay. Aquaman Atlantis.
I want to see a Captain Nemo series.
All right.
That's more original than prequels.
I'm sure you're not the only one. But let me share some chat things here. Victor says, I like the originals for some reason. My hope is for a good reboot of Charmed. You know what? I actually watched the originals the first couple seasons, and I loved it. And then I felt they just kind of kept recycling the same stories, and I just stopped watching.
Yeah, I watched the first season. I thought it was okay.
I really like the actors, and some of the characters are great on that show. But listeners may say, I don't mind prequels. At least most of them give a backstory of a franchise. Reboots are just useless, though. Racist says, Krypton, solid acting, but subpar narrative. Carrie says, is Batwoman older or younger than Ollie is? That's a good question. So,
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. In the show, Ollie is supposed to be, I think, in his late 20s now, right? Yeah, because it's been like 6 years, basically. Obviously, depending on the comics, which comics you go, but I would say Green Arrow in the comics is usually one of the older heroes, right?
He's got to be in his 70s now, isn't he?
Okay. No, but I mean, like he's got to be like 40s, right? At least I would think.
Probably.
Like they're kind of the more radical Green Arrow who wants to fight against, the government and stuff, like that kind of Green Arrow.
I mean, he has a grown adult child,
right?
So he's got to be older.
I want to see a show with superheroes at retirement age, where they're walking around on Zimmer frames and stuff like that, and they have like arrows shooting out of their Zimmer frames and stuff like that.
Make it a comedy. Frame? Is that a British walker?
Yeah. That's what we call it. That's what you guys call a walker. We call it a Zimmer frame.
Is that Carrie? I'm going to say I think Batwoman is probably in her late 20s, around 30 maybe, would be my guess. So probably around similar age as Ollie on the show Arrow. She's definitely not like a young Batgirl, like sometimes they portray Batgirl as, young Barbara Gordon before the whole Oracle stuff.
Yep. She's a woman.
Yeah. That's why she's called Batwoman.
Yeah.
Racist says, Amel's a 37. Yes, that is true, but his character, he's playing about 10 years younger than what he actually is. which is pretty common for actors to do. I mean, Welling was like 10 years older than what he was playing on Smallville.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he looked young for his age, especially with makeup.
Victor also says prequels are boring because you know how it will end. That is a problem with prequels. You're right. Like,
so it is. It's like I wonder if Krypton's going to survive this time around.
Right. I wonder if
this is the reason I don't like the Titanic, because the boat always sinks.
I know, but it's the journey there. It's not about the boat sinking, It's about the romance between Rose and Jack.
Actually, there's a funny story about that. We had a film reviewer in this country. He's still around, but I don't think he's retired now. It's called Barry Norman. He used to have this weekly show, doing film reviews, and they have readers' letters. And one reader, wrote into him and said, dude, you so spoiled the ending of Titanic, So
was he joking or being serious?
He was being serious. He didn't know that Titanic's
jeez.
Hey man, he doesn't like history. In the chat, Carrie says Batman Beyond is that superhero retirement story. That's very true, and that's actually really well done.
Well, that's the future though. That's moving forward.
Right, but he's like saying that's kind of like Bruce Wayne, almost kind of like in the older age, training someone new.
Oh yeah,
because he's ancient there, Bruce, in that one.
He's ancient. He's got to be at least 50.
No, get out of here. He's in his 70s or 80s, man, in that show.
I know, I'm teasing.
All right, I'm very excited for Batwoman, though, actually. So
I am, too. I'm curious to see what they do, and maybe because Gotham is going to end next season, maybe that's going to free up some of the Gotham characters.
Gotham's been really good this season.
Don't care.
Good for it.
I mean, I'm glad you're enjoying it, but I just gave up on that show after.
I'm sure at some point I'll binge watch it or something and catch up, but I'm not.
Yeah, well, the first season was really weak.
Yeah.
That's what put most of the viewers off, was that first season.
It did put me off. You're right.
I just want to see Batman. I don't really want to see.
Well, they said supposedly. I read somewhere that next season he's gonna. Actually, Ian, you can help me out since you've been watching this.
They're doing Batman Year Zero next year.
They're saying he's going to become Batman like next season. Here's the thing. From what I remember, the kid, by the way, the actor's great. I feel as Bruce Wayne, he's great. He was supposed to be 11, right, when the show started?
Mm-hmm.
And so have they skipped years or have they gone like a year every season? How have they been doing the timeline?
I don't know. I mean, so like...
Is the same kid playing Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, same kid named Bruce Wayne, but
so
he's actually,
like, what is he, like,
he's actually a teenager now.
He's like 15, right?
He's probably about that, but he's sort of like he's kind of playing it older, I'd say.
Because so they're doing their own thing then, because Batman does definitely not become Batman at age 16 or whatever.
That'd be Robin.
Yeah.
That's what he's all about, teenage superheroes, because that's what he started out as.
Right. I am. So you know what? I almost maybe watch some of it next season though, because I want to see his transformation into Batman.
Yeah. But they've already kind of done a little bit of it this season.
Oh, didn't he wear some kind of like goofy
costume? Yeah, they had him in costume at the beginning of this season. Going on missions and stuff like that. Because apparently, they had a storyline last season
like the Roberts, right?
Where he was actually abducted by Ra's al Ghul. And Ra's al Ghul was actually training him.
Shit, really? This season?
No, that was last season.
That
was last season. Yeah, but Ra's al Ghul's been in it on and off this season as well.
Oh no, Ra's al Ghul, right? That's actually I know Alexander Siddig, who played Julian Bashir in DS9.
Yeah, and he's awesome. He's awesome in the role.
Is Talia or Nissa in it?
No.
See, they should have Talia as a teenager, and then they can start hooking up, him and her and Bruce. Mm-hmm. And then Rachel will be like, "All right, great, you guys are gonna get married, like I always wanted."
And Bruce knocks her up, and then
and that's why Rachel.
10 years down the road, Damian pops up, and like, "Oh, I got a kid."
Oh God, I cannot tell you how much I hate Damian Wayne.
Everyone hates Damian.
He's worst.
Yeah. I'll be curious. Might check it out some point. I know they had a little Joker type stuff going on too, but I don't know. It's the whole concept is weird for me in a way. It's like Metropolis, what was supervillains Metropolis like before Superman came there? You know, it just doesn't. It's like, what was the world like before the protagonist of the story entered? You know, it's like, I don't really care. I'm following the protagonist in the story.
You know the one I actually would watch, though, because when you said Metropolis, I was thinking, what was the mascara like before Wonder Woman? I would actually watch that show because the Amazons are awesome. Or at least the movie versions they're doing, you know, they're awesome.
Yeah. I don't know.
In the chat, let me get some stuff in the chat here. Carrie says, I really like Gotham. Marina Baccarin would make a great Batwoman, by the way. I do like her a lot. She's great. She's great in Stargate. She's great in V.
I met her once.
All right, what is it with you and Ian today? Yeah, I met her. I
had to do it because I actually was working on set and drove her around and stuff. So she didn't offer me a cigarette, though. Sorry.
Well, that's good. She's probably more healthy.
She offered me alcohol or something. I can't remember what it was now.
Is she really?
Yeah.
She was trying to get you drunk? I think you told me this.
Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, but I know. Then she realized I was driving and figured that probably wasn't a good idea.
Oh, yeah, I remember the story. Why are all these actresses offering you guys, like, bad things, like...
I don't know. Yeah, right.
Alcohol. If I meet a famous actress, I want her to offer me milk. That's what I want.
Would you like this avocado, Jeff?
Thank you. Yes, I would. That's very nice.
No, you know. Hey, Jeff, would you like some cocaine, dude?
I'll take that.
Oh, dear.
In the chat, Buzz says, sorry to get off topic, but I'm not that excited for Solo. I'm not either. I'm not going to watch it. Because I don't want to see a Solo prequel. I don't care. I don't need to see that. I know, Ian, you said you liked it. But that's another thing. I do not want to know about how Han Solo got started. I know enough about Han Solo.
Well, we already know about how he got started.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't need to see it. I already have enough information.
But, it was interesting to see it, and I actually quite enjoyed it. But I was like you before I went to see the film.
Yeah. But see, I think that takes away from the stuff you already established. Like having the viewers fill in that stuff and imagining it from what you've established, like in the original trilogy. That's what's cool to me, and that's when you did a good job as a writer. When we start kind of imagining those and filling in those gaps ourselves. When you tell it all to us, it's like, oh, who cares anymore?
Yeah. It takes away something. I think also because to be honest with you, Han Solo's story after the original trilogy is kind of tragic. And that kind of a little bit of a downer when you know that's how his life ends. And then to go back and see it when he was younger. And
you mean if you take, episode 7, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I like to pretend that's not true at all and just do the books instead. The old books,
The old books, yeah.
No, because that's garbage. Yes, we're going. So Buzz got us on a Star Wars, but that's okay because we love Star Wars. So we're going to go to a quick Star Wars tangent. By the way, Victor says, well, Marx is pretty good looking. I cannot blame Marina wanting to get him drunk. Hey, there you go, Marx.
Who said that?
Victor.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it wasn't a hot girl, but you're married anyway. Don't worry about it.
Well, I still thank you.
But I get off fucking track. I don't know what to say. Oh yeah, I know. Now I know. Number 1. Okay, if you haven't seen episode 7 or 8, folks, spoiler warning. Why are those, is that the ending anybody wants to see for Han Solo or Luke Skywalker? I don't. Definitely not. And number 1.
But it's the ending that Harrison Ford wanted for Han Solo, because if he'd had his way, Han Solo would have died at the end of Empire Strikes Back.
He didn't want to do Jedi?
No. He didn't want to come back.
Well, who cares? He's not the one writing it. But I mean, here's the other thing. Never in my mind after Jedi, Return of the Jedi, did I say, wow, you know what? In the future, I'm imagining Han and Leia had a terrible marriage and they got divorced. That's exactly what I want to see. What fan said that?
Yeah.
In the books,
it's a little too potentially gritty real or something, I guess. Yeah. Tragic ending kind of.
It takes Timothy Zahn, Heir to the Empire, and then after that, they had a really nice marriage. They had twins, and they had a third kid. They had their, obviously, like any couple.
They had some dark side issues, but
yeah, but you know what? They had a good marriage, right? And they loved each other. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I really think what they should have done with the trilogy is they really needed to fast forward a little further to where Han and Leia were just, passed away from old age and stuff. And it's really, really hard. I can't think of too many stories where they've ever been able to take one generation of characters, introduce a new generation of characters, and have that other generation pass away because you almost kind of have to for them not to be stars anymore, and ever be really satisfying. You know, it's really actually superhero comic books might be the only thing I've ever seen it happen, potentially working. But otherwise, nothing else. It's never satisfying. It takes away something from the original work. So.
Totally right. 100% agree. It's the same problem like we were talking about with Star Trek Discovery. I know you and me, Marks. We think they should have said it like in the next century after Voyager.
It did. It should have. Yeah. It's unfortunate because, for one thing, it bogs down their potential writing story arcs and stuff, but also it's bad because all those actors who play from the other shows could be making guest appearances, and we get little tune in on what happened and stuff, and we'll never, some of them will pass away before we ever get that, if we ever get it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm not watching it. In the chat, Victor says, the old Star Wars books had Han and Leia to be happy with a family. We cannot have that. Yeah, unfortunately we can't apparently in the movies. I don't know why. All right, anyway, okay, that's off of Star Wars now.
The Flash.
Oh, wait, we got one more news item though, right? Before we
got the DC.
Go ahead, Marks.
So we've talked about the streaming channel that's coming from DC, or Warner Brothers in DC. So they called it DC Universe, I believe, and it's going to have a huge back catalog of live action and an animated DC comic book based, shows. They also announced a number of new shows that are going to come out, live action and animated, including like Harley Quinn animated series, and Young Justice season 3, which I'm pretty excited to see. Also live action Titans, which we've been mentioning before. Also, what was a little bit of a surprise to me was a live action Swamp Thing. Yeah, and we haven't had that for a long. Like, what was it? HBO that had Swamp Thing before, like 20 years ago or something. Or I don't know when it was, late 80s or something, early 90s. I remember.
If they're bringing Swamp Thing into a live action thing, they could always have the guy come back as Constantine as a guest star, because in the comics, Constantine works quite a lot on and off with Swamp Thing. They cross over quite a bit.
Yeah, it was a whole vertical little sub-universe that DC had. And we had Justice League Dark animated movie that had them,
I love
crossover a little bit. What else is there? Oh, man, I can't remember now. There's also a Doom Patrol series. It's going to come later. It's going to spin out of Titans. Excuse me. And is there anything else I'm missing? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't know. I guess not. So, what do you think, Ian? It's going to be interesting?
Yeah, I'm kind of up for more DC stuff. I'm just waiting for Marvel to do the same thing. They kind of have been doing on Netflix with their lower tier characters, but Well,
it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Netflix, because they have a deal with CW right now that's really good for CW, where within like a week or something after the season finale of a show, it pops up on Netflix.
That's only in America. They don't have the shows on Netflix here in the UK. The only one they have is Black Lightning.
Oh yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see if that deal remains, or if they're gonna take the streaming rights away and put it into DC Universe next year or something. I don't know what the contract is or how long it lasts or anything, but I would be surprised if DC doesn't try to do that.
Yeah, it's also
try to do what?
Get the CW superhero shows to stream on their channel instead.
Oh,
take it from Netflix.
Well,
because Young Justice.
You mean after? Do you mean after they've been on CW?
Oh yeah. I don't think they're gonna take it off CW. I hope not.
I got what you're saying, though.
Yeah, but not, instead of going straight to Netflix like they do right now, which is kind of cool. Instead, maybe next year, I wonder if they're going to do that and move it over to DC Universe instead. Which is going to be really weird because then it's like they're making a lot of live action shows that aren't. I don't know. It's going to be weird. You don't have a lot of content.
In the chat, Listeners Mate says, yes, there was a live action show of Swamp Thing in the late 80s. They actually re-show that on Heroes and Icons TV network right now on Saturdays.
Oh, yeah, I've caught that. Yeah.
It's they do their comic book heroes thing every Saturday on Heroes and Icons. I love that channel. And then Victor, I don't know if you already answered this, Mark, since I was away, but Victor says, I've been looking forward to the DC streaming service. Do you have any idea about cost?
No, they haven't said cost yet. So that's another deal breaker. And some people have wondered if they're going to package it somehow with the comic, like the online comic book DC universe or not. If they do that, that'd be kind of cool. If like maybe you have a package deal.
What do you mean? You mean you get like a subscription to some comics as well?
Yeah, I don't know where DC is online, if it's Comixology or wherever it goes, but if you
you can get them on Comixology.
Yeah, because I know like Marvel has a thing too. Like I got a coupon. I haven't used it yet, but I have access for a free month of Marvel Comics online because of Black Panther. So that's just fans saying that they would like it. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But
Lister's Mate says in the chat, I think there's too many streaming services, to be honest. I get Amazon Prime and CBS All Access. My nephew lets me access the Amazon. I don't think I'll be getting the new DC service. Yes, yeah. Well, that's the way it's going, folks. Like everybody's going to have their own streaming thing.
They will. I wish it wasn't like that, but it's gonna happen.
But I mean, well, like we said, right? I mean, if you don't do cable anymore and you just subscribe to whatever services you want, it's kind of just, I don't know, one way to watch over the other, right?
Yeah, it's not so bad. I mean, if you like DC heroes, then for $10 or less a month, you could get it all, So that's not so bad, maybe. We have to see how bad it gets. Because Disney's going to do their own streaming service, too. It'll be interesting to see if they just
Ian, I'm sorry, Ian, are you coming back? Just before, I can't
I'll be back in. I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, take your time.
5-10 minutes.
We can talk.
Okay.
Just mute yourself, please. Thank you.
Especially if you're going back.
Well, it's definitely, I think, got to be within like $9.99 or less, I would think, right?
I would think so. I don't think anybody would pay more than that.
It can't be more than Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, Netflix is like $10.99 for the HD one right now.
Yeah, I don't think anybody tries to hit that price or higher is committing. It's not going to work out for them.
So something if they do like a Hulu, maybe $7.99 or less, that might work.
Yeah, it might work. We'll see what happens. But I think that's the future. Unfortunately, what's going to happen because Netflix saw this happening at some point. That's why they've been pushing so hard and spending so much money on original content because they knew eventually all the other studios would go, hey, we need to do our own. Why are we licensing this with another third party? And when that would happen, they'd pull all their catalogs away. So they had to get their own original content so people would stick with them.
Netflix is smart, though, man. Like, they saw this before other people did. And like you said, they've been creating their own stuff. And it's been very successful for them, too, all their own series.
Yeah, they got a lot of good shows.
I mean, that's why people keep the subscription because, at least I've noticed this, they tend to release a new one like just over 30 days from the other one. So you have to kind of like, so you keep your thing and you renew it another month or something like that. Like, I don't know. I feel like they plan it out to get people to make sure they don't cancel, Probably,
yeah. I mean, they have really a lot of shows. Some of them are not good.
Oh, no.
They have a wide range that are just, they're built to hit certain demographics or certain groups of people. But yeah, I mean, if you like the Marvel ones, there's multiple times a year where you got to have it if you want to see the new Marvel one. Or if you like Stranger Things or whatever. I mean, the genre shows really.
Glow comes back. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, Glow is good too. Maybe an Altered Carbon wasn't. If you like Altered Carbon,
I like Altered Carbon. Did you watch it finally?
Yeah.
I like that quite a bit.
I liked it. I could see where it'd be a little too violent or sexual for some people, but it was a good overall. So had some amazing fight scenes. Some interesting, powerful themes in it too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, So, unfortunately, we're going to get that. We're going to get our own. We're going to get DC Universe channel. We're going to have Disney's streaming channel. Remains to be seen if they're going to have like a Marvel one, and how they're going to break that up. And we're going to get, we have CBS access already, and the only thing is some of the studios that have Hulu might stick with Hulu for a while and build it up, and rather than branching off. But we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really unfortunate or not. I mean, I still think it's going to be less than cable. If you do it that way,
Yeah, so far. Hopefully it doesn't get a balloon out of control.
Right. All right. That cover all the news?
Yep.
All right. Let's switch over to The Flash. All right. So since our last episode, there have been 5 episodes, including the season finale. So we're covering episodes 7. I'm sorry. This is the last week's. So last shows. It's 19 through 23, actually, are the episode numbers of season 4. Fury Rogue, Therefore She Is, Harry and the Harrisons, Think Fast, and We Are the Flash. That's the ones we're going to be talking about. All right. So let's start. I want to start with Cisco and Gypsy, because we got Gypsy return in one of these episodes. And they were trying to do their long distance, really long distance, because it's parallel Earths relationship.
Never works out, especially parallel worlds.
Yeah, and unfortunately it didn't. Well, Breacher wanted Cisco to take over for him and work with Gypsy, right? And then and then they thought there was going to be a conflict over that. But I think from what I remember, she was cool with him not doing that, actually. And she was actually cool with the long distance, but it wasn't working for Cisco, and he said he just couldn't do that anymore. And so they split up. What do you think about that?
Just sad. Very sad. At least Cisco didn't leave. Maybe they'll get back together at some point. Who knows,
I think.
Although really, when you can break breaches, even though they're a long-distance relationship, it's probably closer than a person flying in a plane to the other side of the United States.
That's the thing. Can't they just breach right to where they are? Couldn't he just breach into her bed, basically? He's like, hey, honey, let's get it on.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here and I'm naked.
Is that a vibration in your pants, or you just have to see?
That was just a breach. After Effects. Let me. Oh my
sorry,
God.
I prematurely breached there.
I can go. What was that? Oh, sorry. Say that again.
I said, sorry, I prematurely breached there.
I was trying to not say all the horrible things I going through my mind, but
I'll do it for you.
Yeah, thank you. Victor says, I never understood the Cisco and Gypsy storyline. I really liked their relationship. It made a lot of sense to me. They were a good couple. I liked her character. She was cool.
I did too. Yeah.
I think mainly I was trying to look this up online, and I think mainly because Jessica Camacho, who's the actress who plays Gypsy, has a role on the fuck is it Taken, the show Taken. She has she has one of the main roles, I guess, in that. So I just don't think she hasn't been available, and that's maybe a big reason that she just can't really.
Did this show get renewed?
I don't know, actually. I don't know if it did for next season. It was on this season. That's a good question. If it didn't, she should be like, oh hey, why don't we actually get Cisco and Gypsy back together?
Yeah. We'll
Cisco
see.
and Gypsy show.
She's not dead. She can come back.
Oh yeah, she's definitely not dead. She'll make an appearance.
Yeah.
And who was wait, what was she doing in that? Oh, that's right. She was actually trying to help them take down the Thinker, right? In that one episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, she was thinking about it.
All right. So you guys and your jokes. God. This is why we only do the show once a month now. I can't take it.
It's just too funny to handle.
I can't take all too many puns. It's so funny I can't handle it. I'm just going in random order here about what I want to talk about. Let's talk about Harry, who is pretty much my favorite character, or one of them anyway. So what do you think?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What do you think about his character in terms of the whole storyline where he's obviously losing his intellect basically, and He and the whole arc that he goes through in the last few episodes of the season.
I thought it was cool, but wasn't happy with the resolution of it.
Did you want him to get all his intellect back?
Yeah, I wanted to get all of it back, but maybe with a bit of empathy, sort of thing. Whereas now it's sort of like he just seems too much of a regular guy.
Yeah. Well, I think this is the end of this version of him.
That's the last time we'll see this Harry.
Yeah.
Which is sad because he's been my favorite. I mean, HR was actually great too. I loved HR, but this Harry's been my favorite. I mean, it's a nice way to send him off again. Like, he has a lot of empathy now, and he's going to reunite with Jesse, But you're right. One thing that made Harry so interesting was the kind of guy he was. That he was that super intellectual and the way he talked to people, right? And he wasn't very good at being necessarily good social skills. That's what made it really interesting. Asshole. So yeah, you're right. And that's why you're right, Marx. They can't have him on the show anymore because if he's not like that, he's not as interesting, unfortunately.
Yeah, and they said it's an end of an era. It feels like an end of an era when he left. I think he could always relearn that stuff over time. I mean, it's not like he just forgot all of that, Mm-hmm. But he could always relearn it if he wanted to. But I think that's the end of his character.
In the chat, first off, Victor has liked my naked line. He says, a great way to meet police officers. Okay. And then Lister's Mate says, so is Harry just average now with his IQ? Is that what they were referring to? I think so, right? Probably he's kind of just like a normal IQ person level. Yeah.
Well, I think it rebooted him in such a way where he lost all of his intellectual knowledge he learned. Like, he remembered all the important things to him, like the connections he had to everybody, but just doesn't have access to any of that science anymore.
Does that mean you think he still has the ability to be super smart?
I think it's possible. I think he could relearn, but I mean, it would take a long time to relearn what he knew in, 30, 40 years worth of knowledge.
Raisa thought it was poor commentary on being smart. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then Licious May says, at least they didn't turn Harry into a Forrest Gump type character or make him like Rain Man.
Oh, God.
Yes, they didn't go that way.
Yes, that's good.
So who do you think... So what do you think the next Harry's going to be then? They're obviously right.
The French one.
You know what? That was actually my favorite. I don't know if you're maybe joking, but I actually really liked the French one. I thought he was hilarious.
No, it's going to be Harriet Wells.
Oh, that'd be
the female one.
That would be. You know what? If they ever lose Tom Cavanaugh, which I hope they don't, because he's an amazing actor and he's my favorite. But that's how they could do it.
Mm-hmm. They could keep Tom Cavanaugh. They could have Harriet Wells, the trans Wells.
Could. I think though, maybe he'll come back as his Mad Max version.
Which was the Council of Harrisons, right? Which I always think that's fun. I just like seeing Tom Cavanaugh get to act all those different roles.
Yeah.
I actually did like the French one the best. I thought it was really funny. Who was your favorite? Either, I guess, the original council or the new council. Any favorite?
Well, there's one that's on both.
Oh, yeah. The kind of like the Matthew McConaughey type one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, from the, this, all right, that one. That McConaughey.
Yeah. A little bit of a playboy. They could have him. Who knows? He'll probably be less
I don't
dramatic
think
version.
Yeah, he wouldn't be a good one for permanent.
It probably won't be any of those.
None of those actually are good for be permanent. One of the show.
Yeah.
Do we know whether Tom Cavanaugh's actually returning or not, though?
We would have heard, right? I think if he didn't.
I haven't heard him not returning.
I think we definitely would have heard about it. They always make a big deal usually about when actors leave. Victor says, I want a UK Harry from a steampunk world. Hey, what do you think about that, Ian?
Well, that'd be cool, except to think Tom Cavanaugh might butcher the accent,
All right. Are you guys ever happy with anyone doing a British accent if you're not British?
No.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You're okay with English actors doing American accents, but you're not okay with American actors doing British accents.
I'm not okay with English actors doing American accents.
You don't like that either?
When it's not done well. I mean, I don't mind it if it's someone that does it well, like the guy that was in Buffy Spike. I've seen him a few times doing, and I thought he did a pretty good British accent.
Marsters?
Yeah, but the
oh, that's right, because he's American, isn't he?
Yeah,
I keep forgetting.
And I didn't actually know he was American. So,
hey, there you go.
So he actually did it really well. But when you're talking about it's like when you're getting someone doing a Dick Van Dyke of it, that was just like the worst freaking British accent ever.
So you don't like, which I'm going to talk about, you don't like Amunet, right, then?
No, not really, no.
What about, do you like Benedict Cumberbatch doing his Doctor Strange American accent?
That seemed a bit odd, actually. It seemed to just seem really, really odd.
Well, because we're so used to him speaking with an English accent, like his normal accent, it just took a little getting used to.
Well, it's not just that, because when he's speaking in English accent, when he's doing these roles in TV, when he's doing Sherlock, he's using received pronunciation, so it's kind of like using the actor's sort of like thing, where there's no discernible accent, because he's speaking like there's a bit of a plum in his mouth.
Oh. What were you going to say, Marx?
The actress who plays Lena Luthor, she sounds a little funny occasionally. Her accent slips in a little bit occasionally.
Yeah, she's Irish.
That's right. She's Irish. Oh, do you Oh, really? You're saying you hear her accent slip in?
Occasionally. I mean, how she enunciates things is a little off, and then every once in a while she slips in something that sounds a little bit.
See, I think she's her American is really good though. It's awesome.
Well, I mean, she does better than I would be able to do Scottish or whatever.
I think it's great. I actually think the way she speaks. Here's the thing. I think the way she speaks is different, but I think it fits Lena very. Like it's perfect for Lena Luthor. I think.
Well, Lena Luthor's American Irish, isn't she? So.
She could be. I'm American Irish.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Lex had red hair before he lost his hair, so it's obviously.
Hey. Although wait, but Lena was adopted, right?
Well, wasn't that Scottish?
What? No, Irish have red hair. What are you talking about? Get out of here. All right. Anyway, that's enough about
Luther was a ginger.
Yes. Yeah, he was a ginger.
He was a ginger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could go live with the Weasleys in Harry Potter land.
We're getting way off topic.
I know, we really are. All right, anyway. Since I just mentioned Amunet, so what about the whole... Well, we had Amunet return one episode, because Caitlin was like, Amunet can help us defeat the Thinker. But really, I just want her to help me get Killer Frost back. Well, I guess, what did you think about Amunet's return and the whole thing with Caitlin and trying to get Killer Frost back? Marx?
I mean, I like the character. I mean, I like that actress. But yeah, it was a little... But it's a little forced sometimes trying to get her on there. I thought the whole, like, here, take this and pull this and some kind of grenade thing or something was a little much for me to be able to believe, or her powers to be able to do that. But otherwise, it was fine. Guest appearance was fine.
I actually think it was probably my favorite time that Amunet's been on. Because she was kind of helping them, She wasn't being as nasty or villainous as she usually is.
Yeah.
Ian, any thoughts?
I just want Killer Frost to get her powers back.
I do too. Yeah,
and Amunet's exit in the final scene when she had all the metal and flu and stuff, that was pretty awesome.
That was actually.
I mean, I like that reveal with regards to Killer Frost when she had that flashback to her memory. That revealed that she had her powers. Yeah, that she had her powers when she was a kid.
That was very interesting, you're right.
I thought that was actually quite an interesting reveal, and I'm really interested to see where that goes in the next series.
Yeah.
So she's been kind of just suppressing them all these years, I guess.
Yeah, how'd that happen? Metahumans weren't supposed to be around yet, right? So, it's kind of weird.
Well, how does the Flash establish things? Does every metahuman get it from the particle accelerator? Not everybody, right?
Most of them, yeah.
But there are some that don't, right?
They had one-on-ones that I think Doug Jones played that they hinted to that he wasn't...
Doug Jones was on The Flash?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Right? Am I right, Ian?
I don't remember it.
Shot energy blasts out of his eyes.
I don't remember him being on The Flash.
Yeah, it was whenever...
Let me just ask my cat. Hey, cat, was Doug Jones on the Flash? No, you don't know either?
In the chat, Victor says, I think Caitlin has been hiding Killer Frost most of her life. It's like a buried memory. Yep, I think so too.
So it'll be interesting to see how she got her powers and what that leads to otherwise. But yeah, otherwise all the superpower people have been metahumans from somehow attached to the particle accelerator, or the recent dark energy spike from Flash returning this season.
Oh, right. All right, well, so that was some stuff about some of the current episodes. Let's talk, I guess, about the season in general before we get to the finale. I guess, what are your guys' thoughts on the season? You want to start with positives again, like we did last time? What stuff? Oh, Raisa says yes. Doug Jones was in a Rogues episode. Hey, there you go.
Yeah,
good job. Thanks, Raisa. What did you guys like about this season? Ian?
I think the actor that played the Thinker at the beginning of the season and at the end of the season was really, really good. Mm-hmm. As was the lady that played the mechanic, Marlies. Yeah. But it's felt very disjointed. It's sort of like trying to be a bit too comedic, but but this is positive, so it's not negative. So
I liked Ralph Dibny's journey. That was good. Yeah,
that was actually cool, and it was cool the way they brought him back at the end.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. The guy who played the Thinker was fantastic. Ralph, well, sometimes Ralph could be annoying. Overall, yes, he was quite funny actually, and he had a really nice arc. So that was cool. That's positives.
Is he going to be back next year?
I would expect so. I would definitely expect him to be back. It seemed like he would be.
Yeah,
right?
Probably.
By the way, Race had confirmed that Tom Cavanaugh will be returning next year.
Oh, good.
Yay!
I forgot. I totally lost what I was going to say.
Yeah, my cat's gotten really excited at the prospect of Tom Cavanaugh coming back.
Oh, good. I'm glad your cat.
Her ears pricked up.
I was going to say some of the humor I think went way too far. Goofy. There was some nice funny moments as well.
Yeah, and I liked some of the metahuman bus bad guys. It's a shame that they're, I guess, all dead, because there were some really good ones in there.
There were great ones.
I love the Danny Trejo things. Gypsy's dad.
Preacher?
Yeah, I thought that was really funny. The scenes vampire? Between Danny, the scenes between Danny Trejo and Cisco.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was just really funny.
I'm looking forward to the Vampire Invasion episode next season.
Yeah. No, but those bus metas were great. Like my favorite was, I think Bison maybe was her name, the Native American woman.
Yeah.
There were so many great ones.
I thought you'd say Fiddler, Jeff.
Oh, I love Fiddler too. But Bison was my favorite. But then Fiddler.
I thought Bison was good. I thought the powers thing was good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Her powers were very unique.
But I felt that the sort of like whole Native American thing, they didn't go far enough with it.
Well, I like that they actually, because that's actually, I feel, a group that never really gets. Well, number one, it's a group that's been completely screwed over in our country, but it's a group that doesn't get a lot of play, I think, on TV and movies. So it was really nice to see that addressed. So I agree with you. It would have been cooler to even see more of that. And I like that she had a reason and a cause. So she wasn't just like some kooky villain who just wanted to dominate the world. There was a reason she was doing what she was doing that I could relate or empathize with.
And I like the guy who shrunk stuff and enlarged it. Mm-hmm. That was cool. It's cool visuals.
There's a lot of cool powers on those guys, and that's you're right. It's so annoying though. They're like, oh, they're all dead.
Yeah, it's a shame. There's some really good winners in there. Even the lucky lady person, I can't remember what her name, villain name.
Becky, no, is that her name? Her real name? I don't know. Anyway,
her episode was a little too funny. I mean, it was a little too far comedic at times, but she really won me over with that last episode before she died. It was a good episode.
Yeah, it was great. Victor says, I feel sorry for the nuclear-powered man. Oh, yeah, man. Well, he got the shaft.
Yeah, right? He just blew up multiple times.
Carrie says, I like Marlize. I like the thinker actor. Those are my positives. All my positives. Wasn't, I guess, a very positive season for him.
We got a mystery girl.
That I love. Because Jessica Parker Kennedy, who's playing that role, I love what she's doing with it. We haven't seen her much in that. She's from Black
It's Nora Angan, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Nora Angan.
Yeah, it's her daughter. We find out at the very end.
And that's a long tease, man. Half a season of building up to that.
Yeah. But every time she appeared, she was just so like, I don't know, like very cheery and just like I don't know. She was just a joy to see on screen. So I'm excited to see what they do with her.
I am too. I'm excited. So, anything else?
All right. So
Negatives.
Let's go. Let's go. What we didn't like. All right. So what didn't you like, Ian?
Nah, too much humour. It's sort of like, there's just too much humour in it. I also think that the Thinker is not really. It's quite a strong villain, but not for 26 episodes. I think if it had been a more abbreviated season, they could have told a much tighter story involving the Thinker and what have you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really buy the Thinker's motivation very well. Like, he's a history professor. It's like, who goes, you know what, the root of all humanity's problems through history? Technology. You know, we were so much better before technology. The Dark Ages, they're happy times, right?
I mean, I can see he does have a point. I do think technology, there are very negative things about it and what it's doing to society. And there's plenty of positives too, of course. But you're right. I mean, there were a lot of problems throughout history that didn't have to do with technology.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you just take technology away. I don't think everybody's gonna like, yay, utopia. You know, it's kind of a weird attitude. That's more of an attitude of I don't know what that is, a futurist or something. I don't really know. It's a weird attitude for a history professor.
I agree with you, Ian, that not that I actually like that the Flash usually works in humor. I really appreciate that. But they went so early in the season, so over the top at times. Like they were trying too hard to be funny. Like I know you really liked it, Marx, but the Barry drunk one for me was. I
loved it. I'm the Flash.
I know you love that so much.
That was great. You had that lineup where the best payoff of that whole thing was whenever the fight's happening or whatever was going on, and Barry's dad's like, "I'm a cop," and he gets knocked over, and then you see Barry there, and he goes, "I'm the Flash."
So that would, and like the one you mentioned though with the girl with the luck, her first episode was really
it was really a little goofy. Goofy, yeah. Yeah, they got a little carried away.
I mean, I think they got their balance back on the humor pretty quickly after that, but
once he got in prison, they got real balanced stuff.
Yeah.
Right. The Harrison Wells thing, was in the I thought that was great the first time did it, where they had the different Harry Wells from the different universes. Yeah. It was brilliant the first time did it. It was actually funny, but the second time did it, it was kind of like old.
Oh, okay.
For me, I didn't particularly think it was it's well done the second time round as it was the first. I mean, that's not to take anything away from Tom Cavanagh and his performance and playing those different roles. I just felt it was probably unnecessary on the second time round, to be honest.
Gotcha. In the chat, Victor says, "No tech, happy time sitting in the dark with a pointy stick." So there you go, Marx. All right.
Yeah. I love it. It's just being able to fend off wild animals with like a Swiss Army knife. I'm like, this is heaven.
It is.
I love it.
So great. So much better than watching Netflix.
Yes.
I've invented the wheel. Look.
No more binge watching for me.
Yeah.
Hunting and scavenging. So much better.
Yes. I love it when we only got 3 channels. All right, let's see. Oh, Carrie says, it's hard to get over how often Team Flash failed this season. They lost all the metas. Barry's daughter screwed the timeline, apparently. Just a bunch of L's for our heroes, losses, I guess is what he means. Yeah,
they did lose a lot.
I mean, this season, definitely for me, like it's been the worst season of The Flash. I still enjoyed plenty of it, like stuff, but I don't know. Overall, I just didn't really feel it was working as well. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it, but
yeah, I was hopeful because it wasn't another speedster villain, so you thought it'd be different, and it was different. I just think, like we said, you know, the humor in the beginning was a little off balance, and I think we also never really understood the motivation of this villain for a long time. Like we didn't know his end game at all, so it was kind of hard to go like, you know, why is he doing what he's doing? I don't know what's doing. You know, that's how it was with Dragon 2, and we had a lot of that with the villains this year.
Yeah, another problem I had with it was Iris Allen. What's she doing leading Team Flash? And I think having her lead Team Flash, it's taken away from her character. I think her character was actually better when she was a crusading journalist. You know,
we got a little bit of that at the end.
And we got a little bit at the end, but it's sort of like, I think her character is actually better serviced, and, you know, actually not being a part of Team Flash, but being the journalist on the outside.
I agree with you.
You know?
It didn't make any sense.
She's not Felicity, you know. It's different.
It didn't make. I mean, I accept it now because that's the way it is, but it didn't really make sense. I just feel like they've never really known what to do with Iris, so that's why they gave her that role. But I agree, the journalist thing made the most sense of anything. Like, that was her thing, and that's you can make a difference. Obviously, that's actually a big thing in comics. They love having people be journalists, right? For whatever reason, that's just, I don't know why that's such a huge thing.
It's a good job for getting in the middle of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like if Superman was working with DEO and Lois is like, you know what, I'm gonna quit being a journalist and I'm gonna join the DEO and be your voice behind the camera screen or whatever I'm trying to say. You know,
or like, you know what, John, I'm gonna run the DEO now. Get out of here. You don't know what you're doing.
Get out here. I don't care how many years you've done this. I used to be a reporter. I can do this.
and John will turn around and say, well, that's just it, Lois. You used to be a reporter.
In the chat, Rasta says, agree, Jeff, weak season. Listener's Mate says, Iris was just too whiny and wishy-washy in the season. And Listener's Mate also says, the whole "this house is bitchin" thing was a letdown. There was
no payoff on that, was there?
They referenced it too much, not to give it a good explanation, except their daughter saying it. Yeah, doesn't she say it? Nora say it when she comes in.
Oh, she does. That's right.
Which is great.
I forgot about that
because they went so long without bringing it up again.
Yeah, because they also hinted, like, you know, Harrison was talking gibberish like Flash was and stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't really get I don't 100% get that connection.
Because is that what Barry said when he came out of the thing? This house is bitchin'.
Yeah, that was one of the things. Yeah. Well, they translated.
Oh yeah.
All the words and stuff, and that was what it came out as. They were like, that can't be right. So I don't understand why Harry was doing that, all the symbols, and then he was talking gibberish like that. Unless it's all dark energy is connected somehow to Speed Force. I don't know what that's about, but
the Speed Force really likes the phrase "this house is bitchin'."
This house is bitchin'.
Speed Force wants people to become interior decorators.
I'm assuming the Flash saw snippets of the future, because he also foresaw him being on trial. There was a hint about that and stuff like that.
So maybe in his Nora's time, that's the big phrase: "This house is bitchin'."
It must be. I mean, obviously, 30 years from now or whatever, that's got to be the same.
Well, that's a granddaughter, right? So it'd be even. No,
it's their daughter.
No, it's their daughter. You're right.
Yeah,
it's her daughter. Yeah. Somebody was speculating it was a granddaughter.
She said what time period she's from. I forgot what they said.
Which not even. Well, it depends on when they have her. But I mean, she's probably supposed to be in her 20s at that time. Yeah.
I don't know. The actress herself is in her 30s, right?
Oh, is she? That's pretty good, though. They made her look really young, I feel, in The Flash, though.
They did.
Like, way younger than Black Sails.
She acts Axion.
She what?
She acts young, too. So, and she behaves young. Yeah, Yeah, I don't know. If anybody remembers what time period she said she's from, because I thought she said the year. I can't remember. Maybe she said 2038? No, maybe? I don't know.
Could be. That'd be 20 years. I could buy that. That she's supposed to be like 20.
Could be.
Uh-oh. That could mean, though, Iris going to get pregnant next season? Or soon?
Could be. Maybe she's already pregnant.
Oh.
No.
Does that mean she'll give birth in 9.5 minutes?
Hey, wait, here's... Or does... I'm sorry, this is terrible. Does the Flash's sperm travel so fast that it can't...
Yeah. What I always wanted to know is how did Superman and Lois Lane actually cope? I mean, how did he not blow a hole right through her?
They joke about that in Hitch Hancock. And I even actually, in my Super Knocked Up series, I actually make even a reference aside to it. Because you're right, it's a real issue.
Careful.
Yeah, it's a real issue.
Yeah, be careful.
That's why in Smallville, when Lana gets her powers, that's when her and Clark finally have sex, because she can take... she can handle it. That's really what happens. I'm not making that up.
So you gotta use protection.
And because they break the bed, it collapses.
So that's why Nina Luthor's learning to make kryptonite.
Oh,
there you go. A kryptonite condom.
So you can have sex with Superman? I'm trying to get the logic.
Actually, she has sex with Jimmy. That's fine. He's not superpowered.
Maybe he always wears the armor. I don't know.
She's like, ouch, just poking me with your armor. Jeez.
He always has that shield ready.
Right.
It's got to be handy. Whatever that.
He knocks her in the head. It's like, oh, jeez. Come on. And he talks in the voice during it. She's like, can you turn the voice thing off? Or maybe it's sexy.
I am Guardian.
All right, this is really going far afield.
Now we're talking about superhero sex.
Yeah. So. Well, excuse me, you were making the Breacher thing jokes about sex earlier. You're like, as long as it's a pun, it's okay.
Yeah.
9.5 minutes featuring Iris Annan.
All right, let's just get off this. All right, I don't even know where we're on anymore. All right, anything else about the season in general?
Oh.
Good or bad? No? All right. You're about to pull something out, but I don't know what it is.
I actually... What did I like?
Well, Carrie says, I like that Nora is faster than Barry.
Is she? I guess so. She caught up with him, didn't she?
I guess so. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can know that from there, but I would believe it.
Yeah.
And she's got the purple energy instead of the yellowish one that he has.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is. We didn't really get to see her costume or anything, right? We just kind of just saw her face in the Speed Force. She ran up. I don't think we really saw her full costume.
I think we kind of seen her fist and
that's right. We only saw
the jacket she was wearing.
Yeah. You're right. Oh, is it the jacket that she was wearing at the house, that Iris's jacket, or no?
Well, yeah. That's what it looked like to me.
Okay. Which is a one-of-a-kind jacket that nobody else owns in the world, folks. Remember.
Yeah, but surely she's going so fast the jacket would be disintegrating on her. Being melted away from her like sushi.
Well, because his suit's special made by Cisco, right, to withstand the speed.
Yeah, but that jacket isn't.
Well,
maybe it's not that jacket. Maybe it's actually her suit. It would just look kind of like the jacket.
They kind of got away from that, though. Now they're like, the aura of your Speed Force protects everything and stuff. Otherwise, every time they would grab someone and take them with them, they would just die.
Oh, yeah, they totally got away from that. You're right.
That's an element of the series that I actually did like this year, was the flash time element. When Barry was actually able to bring people into flash time, I thought that was actually interesting and quite fun.
Well, that was their best episode, I think, when they did the thing with them trying to the bomb and trying to defuse that.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good episode. I also like they had Sis and Code an episode.
That was fun because I don't like Captain Cold, but I love Citizen Cold.
Yeah, I like that. And that episode we had Siren X. It was souped up version. So
that was a good one. You're right.
That's good episodes. And I like they got married and all that stuff. So they got married. It's already the same musical episode, but that was last season. So
what about the season finale then? So I love the Nora thing and finally getting to know who she was at the end. And I like the idea of like him going into the mind and finding Ralph and trying to defeat him through like a mind thing or connecting like to him rather than just a normal way to defeat a villain. I don't know. I felt like they defeated him way too easily.
Well, they've not quite defeated him, haven't they? Because he downloaded himself into that computer on the chair.
I didn't understand actually what was going on with that at all. But let's get back to that in a second. I don't know. Like when it was in the mind, I don't know. They're just running through them. Like it basically reminded me of the Matrix Reloaded and a million like Agent Smiths with, and I know it was all CG, except the CG wasn't as bad as the Matrix Reloaded. So I don't know. Like that just didn't. I was like, okay, I don't know. It didn't really feel challenging to me, like it should have been. And I guess I feel like I wanted a bigger resolution to the Thinker's plan or something. I guess, or it just felt, I don't know, not satisfying. It was underwhelming.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to think it's succeed.
Was it a premature finale for you, Jeff?
Oh boy. No, it wasn't.
I think it probably would have been better if they'd actually had to think succeed a few episodes early, sort of thing, so that we would have seen, what this world would be like with enlightenment. Would the Flash still have his powers and all of that?
That would have been interesting.
Would the Flash have to use his powers to sort of go so fast to time travel back to the moment of enlightenment and try and stop it at its source?
Yeah, but they're trying to get away from the time travel thing because that becomes a handicap to the show if they always can have that as a possible option. So.
Yeah, but I think in this instance they probably needed time travel thing.
Well, that's what you think, but makes things worse. Always does, doesn't? Now the Legends can do it all they want.
Right? Yeah, sure. It's fine with the Legends to be totally nonsensical.
Speaking of which, it was nice to see Wally again, and Wally is great on Legends. He does a fantastic job. He fits in perfectly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It was nice to see him come back. It was weird. I couldn't get around his hair, though. And maybe is that the way his hair is on Legends?
Yeah.
It's worse on Legends.
His hair was totally different style than last time he was on Flash, and it's like, it was just weird.
It's kind of like got a 1920s vibe going on, isn't it? With his hair, like...
Well, he has it's really long. I don't know what he's doing with his hair. Yeah, it was better actually in that episode. I thought it was a little shorter and it was slicked back versus what kind of weird haircut he was going on.
All right. Well, what did you think about the?
I mean, good for the actor. He'd do whatever he wants to say.
Yeah, I think he should just have dreads and get it over with.
Well, Mark, what did you think about like the Thinker inclusion there?
Yeah, it seemed a little convenient. It did pay off of her I can't remember her name, but being pregnant and getting telepathy and such.
Oh, it's the seal?
That's good. Yeah. So I like that they paid that off in a way, and it was able to excuse for Ralph to come back. So
I think Marley's coming in to help them. That was kind of predictable. They kind of signposted that about 4 or 5 episodes back.
Yeah.
When she was beginning to have doubts about the thing.
It made sense, though. I mean, I liked it. I guess the only thing with that, though, is they seem to, like, all just kind of totally forgive her way too easily, I felt like, and just forget all the stuff she did to them.
I know. Yeah, they did. They were just, like, at the end, they're like,
let's hug.
Iris
We're
and
good
her
friends
just, like,
now.
give a hug.
Yeah.
Remember that time
why didn't you come join
Team Good Flash? Good time.
Right.
Good memories.
Yeah. Swing by the
they invited
base
to join the
sometime.
team.
Yeah. I don't know.
They invited her onto the team, didn't they? At the end?
No, they didn't. No, she went her own way.
Yeah, they did, but she turned them down because she wanted to go back into something
yeah. Well, they kind of maybe said, "Do you want to stick around or something?" Right? Or do you? Yeah.
No, they actually invited her onto the team.
I don't remember that. Is that true, Marks?
I don't remember if they did or not.
Okay, in the chat, let us know. Let's see what happens.
I don't trust her to be off on her own. I don't trust that the Thinker's dead. I think what she ripped out, he could still maybe be conscious in that thing, and maybe she'll try to save him.
Well, let me share some chat things, then let's talk about that. Carrie says, they defeated the Thinker with the power of love, #lame. Lister's mate says, I thought the Thinker uploaded himself to the cloud. And Victor says, I think the chair image of the Thinker was more like his spoil sport failsafe of the Thinker. So I don't get that. When he appeared like as a hologram, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, they actually didn't defeat him. Okay, cool. Now he's really still there, and they're gonna have to defeat him in some other way. But then she just pulled it out and he disappeared. I didn't get what was that? What was the point of that?
Yeah, he downloaded his brain into it using his combination of his powers.
Yeah, she's uploaded him to Facebook.
So he's in that part of the chair that she ripped off? Out?
Yeah, I think so.
And the team is all totally cool with that? Why would they be okay with that?
Well, I mean, they assume he's dead. But I could see, you know how it is when you become ghost in the machine kind of thing. It's not always that easy to kill off somebody. So I would be surprised if she could recover him and at some point think she could rehabilitate him or something, in a controlled environment that, of course, will get uncontrolled. Then he could be like the new Ultron, right? Essentially.
But you don't think he's going to be the villain next season, right?
No.
Oh, God, I hope not.
No.
By the way, in the chat, Victor says, I agree she was asked to be on the team. So there you go, Ian. He's confirming that.
Some people said Cobalt Blue might be the villain next season.
Wait a minute. We've talked about that before.
We have before.
Marx always brings up like the most obscure villains. Who is Cobalt Blue again? The name's great.
He's villain speedster guy. I think it was he was related to Reverse Flash. I think it was supposed to be the guy who died, the cop guy who sacrificed himself. It was Reverse Flash's ancestor. I think that was the name of the guy who would become Cobalt Blue, right? It's always so weird
Eddie?
to see because you get like pre-Crisis Infinite Earths, then after Crisis, and then you got after the New 52 and stuff. There's so many versions.
Do you mean it's Eddie or Eddie's ancestor?
I think so. I think it was. I don't remember now, to be honest. Okay. I had to look it up again. But I think his powers differ a little bit than a normal speedster. So, but
hey, here's a kooky idea I just had. What if we actually had a female main villain? I just realized Arrow and Flash never do that.
They don't, do they?
Supergirl obviously has done it twice actually.
They're all gonna be on
maybe
Supergirl.
Maybe it's because they don't like the idea of a superhero hitting girls,
Oh, but they do that. They fight like Black Siren, all those other people, and Amunet. So it's not like they don't have female villains. Yeah, I really like. Come on, let's do a female villain on one of these shows.
Yeah, who would it be?
The Bitcher.
Come on, stop it, Ian. Get out of here. It's terrible. No, I mean, I really like, because, the shows I think actually do a good job with a lot of female characters generally and making them really cool. So let's just do some.
Well, and you can always make any character who hasn't appeared yet. You can always make them a female instead. So
that's the thing. You could just change. Yeah, they do that all the time. They change.
Because to be honest, DC Comics is not, and it's partly because they're such an old comic book universe. They're not the most diverse group of characters sometimes. So sometimes you gotta reboot.
I think they have. There's plenty of female, particularly in the Batman universe. There's plenty of cool female characters, particularly in the villains.
Catwoman.
The problem is so many of the awesome villains are Batman villains. That's the issue with DC, right? And they're not like the other characters.
And it seems to me that they've used a lot of the Batman villains on Arrow.
They have used some of them, yeah.
So Arrow seems to get majority of the Batman villains.
Oh, it makes sense because they would go in line with the Arrow kind of deal because they're not super powered. Victor wants to know how many speedsters are there in DC? All right, Marx, this is a question for you.
I'm sorry, what?
How many speedsters are there in DC?
There's still a few more. Cobalt Blue. Hot Pursuit, right?
Oh yeah, Patty Smith.
Yeah. And then we haven't gotten what's his name, Impulse, but I think this character is kind of the female version, Impulse in a way.
Who is? Nora?
Their daughter.
Oh.
Maybe not.
Is Impulse their son?
Impulse is I think it's their grandson or something, right?
Bart Allen, right?
Yeah, I feel like he's not like
Nora is from the comics, right?
I don't know, Ian. Do you know?
I don't know because I've never read a Flash comic.
Is that the name of Barry's mom? Isn't Nora? Also,
well, Marx, as long as it's not Martha, right? You'll be okay with it.
Yeah. Every superhero's mom's name is Martha.
Like when Superman and Batman were created in the late 30s, that was a very popular name.
That's all need to happen in Arrow. Arrow will be like, Oliver's like, my mom's name is Martha, and then Curtis is like, so is mine. What are we fighting for? I don't know.
That's right. There would have been none of this Civil War at all.
Right? It would have ended everything.
Victor says, here's a crazy idea. What about a witch as a female villain? Team Flash has to deal with magic.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. They've never dealt with magic. And that could be something that... Magic, see, that's the thing. No matter how strong you are or superpowered, magic is only the thing that can usually still get you. Ooh, they could bring in Zatanna, too.
Yeah, I would love to see a live-action version of her.
Well, you saw the Smallville one, right? They did a good job with Zatanna.
It's been so long that I don't remember.
She was in a couple. They did a good job with her. They even did a good job with the Wonder Twins on Smallville, which is a feat to do.
Right. We need the Wonder Twins.
Let's see here.
Did they do Booster Gold as well on Smallville?
Yeah, they did everybody, man. It was great. They did a good job. They did a good job with almost all those people too. Nora is his mom, by the way. Racist says in the chat.
Okay, so it's probably why they named her that. So Cobalt Blue in the earlier version, I think, was Barry's twin brother or something that somehow... I don't know, I'm glancing at something. But anyway, Cobalt Blue has energy powers from a talisman, but also allowed him to be able to steal super speed and stuff too. So, who knows? Remember, we have Reverse Flash is alive now somehow too.
Oh, no, are you kidding me? Did Legends bring him back again?
Well, he was back. He was back during the Earth X thing. Remember?
Oh, you mean the Earth X version of him? Oh no, that was actually him.
That was actually him. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Because that was so stupid.
I don't exactly understand how.
I'm so sick of this. I mean, how many times does the guy have to die?
Right. Same with Damien Dark, right?
Yeah.
Can't keep a good villain down.
One of the biggest problems with superheroes and comic stuff. They just refuse to kill people and let them be dead.
Well, that's basically the problem with American television in general.
British don't mind. They
not
kill
people. Not as much anymore. I feel plenty of American shows now kill off characters much earlier than you think, even in they stay dead. I know not as much of these comic book based shows, but I don't know. I feel like it's getting better.
Yeah. So they need to take lessons from British television creators. We kill somebody every week.
Great.
It's kind of like it's.
That's because your actors don't like to stay on a show longer than a season. No response.
You're like, I have no rebuttal for that.
Well, so like the only thing in which characters don't die here in the UK is in soaps.
Oh, of course not. You can't die in soaps. You can go to a coma, but you can't die.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some ratings on the season finale and the season as a whole. We do this out of 4 lightning bolts for the Flash. Ian, what do you give the season finale?
Give it a 3.5.
Oh, you really liked it. Okay, Marx.
I give it. Oh, the finale.
The finale.
Like 3.25.
Okay. Again, I was a little underwhelmed by it. I definitely like other parts of it, though. I don't know, man. I'm so in the middle here. Maybe I'll give it a 3, I guess.
Okay.
And then what about, let's see, the season as a whole?
I'd probably give that a 3, maybe. Yeah. Or maybe a 2.8.
I think I'll go 2.75. Ian?
I'm with you, 2.75.
But I give it 2.8, so I like it a 0.5.
Yeah, 500 is better.
0.05 more.
Plus. We're very specific here, folks, on our ratings.
But it was still more enjoyable overall than Arrow's season this year. I thought so.
Yes. All right, let's go on. You want to go on Supergirl?
Sure, let's do that. So, Supergirl. Sorry, I don't have my notes up. Give me 1 second.
Well, so I feel for me, this has been the most consistent show, consistently good, and it's been my favorite one this season, which was not at all the way it was last season for me. I like the Flash.
Nah, the best one this season's been Black Lightning. Sorry.
No, so that's cool. Hey, everybody likes something else, man.
But Supergirl's, Supergirl, I'd say, sort of like second place Black Lightning this season.
Think so? I thought Black Lightning,
especially the episode where she gets this stuffing beat out of her. That was brilliant.
Boy, that's all Ian talks about. By the way, in the chat, Victor says he's going with 3.75 for the whole season of The Flash. A lot of good B stories were shown. Raisa says finale 3, season 2.9. Oh, so now she's a 10th more than you, Marks.
Oh, wow. Well, in Supergirl, since we last spoke, there's been 5 episodes, I believe. We had In Search of Lost Time, Of Two Minds, Trinity, Shelter from the Storm, The Fanatical. Gave us the other 2 World Killers. Well, the other, I guess we saw Purity before, but we got Pestilence finally. We found out the true mission of the Legion was to kill Pestilence or stop Pestilence, so she wouldn't become the Blight. We got cults. We got like I think I said in an earlier DC Action Hour that I was really hoping that the World Killers were somehow magic based, because that's the only way it made any sense, because Supergirl had that vision of the 3 World Killers and saw Purity's face. And I was like, how's that work unless it's magic? So I'm glad that they finally are saying it's magic, or magic and technology somehow combined. Mm-hmm. And we got some more cult action. And we got a lot of Martian Manhunter's dad, who's unfortunately suffering from a degenerative disease, similar to Alzheimer's for humans version. And we also had that episode with Guardian where Jimmy's identity was almost revealed, and the police didn't react too well to a black superhero. They had some assumptions there in that scene, what was happening. So that was interesting for them to touch upon that, because they don't touch on race very much on Supergirl, unlike Black Lightning, of course. And I thought they handled it pretty well. It was a good Jimmy subplot. So,
do you think they handled? Because sorry to jump in here, but we've talked about like last season on these social issues. Supergirl was like kind of very not subtle about it. We felt, right? Do you think they did it better? Like at first, I thought maybe it was going to kind of be like that, because I do like social issues in these things, but I like kind of the original Star Trek kind of thing where you work it in a subtle way and you make people think about it rather than kind of like making it super obvious. But I actually overall, why I really like this one, because Makad Brooks, I think is his name, right? The actor, the acting of that scene for Jimmy when he's telling that story was so fucking good, and the story was actually very interesting. I was very gripped by that. So I actually did feel it worked overall. Yeah,
it was the most powerful acting moment the actors probably had.
Yeah.
The most meaty scene that he got to work with probably the entire time he's working Supergirl.
He did an awesome job. It's great.
Yeah, did a great job, and it's good to see, it's good to see different perspectives in society, period, and that was true to many people's, lives.
Experience.
Yeah. And I think it's important to at least touch on it, so it does, and rather than ignore it. So I thought that was good. Yeah, I thought it was handled fairly well. I mean, the cops probably would think in that scene that, not a lot of them know what Guardian even looks like, and they just see a guy in an armored suit. He's black. There's a black woman, and then there's some white people, and they just assumed something. So
I don't think they would have let the other people run away, though. I think they would have said, "Everybody, stay where you are. We're taking you all in."
I think because he had the armored suit, it threw him a little bit.
Oh, the suit did, but I don't. In that situation, I don't think cops are going to let anybody just run away from the scene.
No, unlikely. I hope not.
I mean, that's not very good cops, but all right.
No. So yeah.
Okay, I didn't know this shit. Racist says that story was taken from Akkad's life, the actor's life. Wow.
Was it? I was wondering because it's very specific, and I was like, I wonder if that's like based on a true story or something. So
I was gonna say that's just like awesome writing, but that's that's even more powerful now.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that helped him act it too. Then obviously,
for sure. So
thank you, Racist. I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
That's cool. I was wondering about
that on the show.
I was wondering if it could be something like that. So that's what in Black Lightning, one of the earliest scenes, maybe the first scene, I don't remember. But whenever he's stopped by the police and it kind of escalates really fast and stuff with him, that was something that the showrunner himself was based on a real life situation stuff for him. So yeah, so that's why it's really important to have diverse writers, diverse everything, so we can get those different perspectives. It makes more interesting stories. So
sure. Let me share in the chat before I lose it here. Lena Supergirl Rift, Racist says this: the Lena Supergirl Rift is better than Arrow, but felt it should have tied kryptonite fear to Kara's PTSD loss of Krypton, because kryptonite is bits of Krypton. That would have been better.
That would have been.
That would have been cool.
But she's had a little bit of an ego thing for a while now, ever since season 2.
Yeah, they need to get that in check.
See, it's much better than season 2. I feel last season it was like really out of control. I feel.
Yeah.
And this season's been not so bad, but yeah, this is where again I felt like when she went with the like, how dare? I mean, she even says something like, "I must control all kryptonite." You know, like how dare anyone else have it? I'm like, what the hell? Like, why? What?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like felt like she was like, I don't know. It was like such an ego trip.
It was.
Yeah, but they kind of kicked that off with Superman last season as well.
Oh, I forgot they did that with him in Martian Manhunter. That's why he was pissed at him.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Yeah, they got this whole thing with both of them being like obsessed with kryptonite.
Yeah.
But see, Lena made a great point because she's like, Supergirl's like, this is what can kill me. And Lena's like, yeah, and there's a million things that can kill the rest of us.
Yeah.
we don't go try around controlling everything that could.
Yeah, I know. You can kind of see the perspective, but she's always have a bit of ego sometimes. So it's true to her character in a way, I guess. Oh, well. It's a good way to create some conflict. Yeah. It's a lot more believable than the stupid bickering that we had in Arrow. So
I mean, it was nice that she did apologize for it. That's good. She owned up to it. And again, I've been saying this since last season. Just like Smallville, I've always felt they're going to do the same thing with Lex and Clark. That Lena and Kara this was going to happen, and it's happening. So I'm not surprised at all. I always felt this was going to happen.
Yeah, I hope she doesn't go full villain though, but we'll see.
No, but I do. I mean, the rift there, I think, was definitely going to happen.
Yeah, I liked it when she's like, "Well, we're not friends. We never were."
It was harsh, man. Like Lena does not forgive easily, man.
It's gonna be really tough if Lena actually finds out the truth that Kara is Supergirl.
See, now she really feels she can't tell her, right? Because there's no way Lena will forgive her.
Yeah, because Nina says that she'd never trust Supergirl again when she was in the lift with Kara.
Right, because now Kara doesn't want to lose her in both aspects of her life. That is rough. That Kara knows Lena hates her, but she can't tell her. That sucks. You know what I did like? I did like that, because that was a shitty thing for Kara to ask James to do. Sneak in, Yeah. I liked it that James didn't do it. Well, he did it, but he didn't actually go in the room. And then he actually told Lena the entire truth. That was awesome, because these shows always generate conflict by people hiding things, right? And that was so refreshing to see James be totally up front, and then Lena was totally cool with it, and the relationship still went on. That was great.
Of course, it created conflict with Supergirl and Lena, but that's Supergirl's fault.
Right. But it was nice that like the relationship didn't end or anything between Jimmy, and if anything, it strengthened their relationship. You know.
Oh yeah, I think that solidified it right there, where they're like, now she feels like she can completely trust him.
And I think that relationship's working really well. Those two.
Yeah, and also when Jimmy tells Lena the story about his childhood, that's sort of like that's actually strengthened the relationship as well.
Yeah. Strengthen it twice, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
What?
That's a tick joke. Never mind.
Yeah, come on. Jeez.
So what do you guys think about the other world killers before they died? Purity and Pestilence.
They're cool.
They were cool. I mean,
Pestilence was the last one, right? The doctor.
Yeah.
Lady?
Yeah. The
like I knew it was her. Like when they were trying to find her, I was like, guys, why don't you just look at the doctor who was touching everybody? But she's like seems like the most evil of them all, right? Or the most susceptible to it. Like she didn't really want to go back at all. It
didn't take much to change her, so yeah, she had a dark side to her, which is realistic. You get 3 people, probably one is going to go dark, go fast. Another one not so fast. It's going to be a mixture of results.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool.
Now Rain's got all their powers, hasn't she?
Yeah. I mean, geez, she kicked Supergirl's ass before. And now is she really gonna freak out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't wait.
Oh, come on,
bring it on.
Supergirl's gonna die at the end of this season.
No.
Prediction.
That's not really a prediction, is it?
She's going to lose both legs and an arm and an eye, and she's going to become the bionic Supergirl.
In the chat, Raisa said, let's see, she says the world killers died too quickly, is what she said. And Victor says the other world killers were good. Okay. They did kind of go off pretty quickly, yeah. But
yeah. We almost got a fourth world killer, didn't we, from the cult?
Oh, yeah, the blonde chick, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, woman.
She flip-flopped really fast. She's got some issues. She's all over the place. But yeah. That was an interesting story, I think the whole, this storyline they've had with the Martians has been really good, I think, and his dad this whole season. And I think this...
sorry, when you mentioned Martians, I wanted to get this out while it's fresh in my mind, but I actually quite like the scene between Martian Manhunter's father and Rain's daughter.
Ruby, that was great.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, Ruby, where they're playing was it
foosball,
air hockey or
foosball?
And
I love that.
I just thought that was a really nice scene in terms of that relationship that formed between those two characters. I just thought it was really, really nice to see.
That's my favorite scene of that episode. Because he's asking about things, and she's like, "What is the foosball?"
What is the foosball? I really hope Ruby sticks around. I couldn't stand her before.
Thank you.
But she's gotten better.
I'm vindicated. I said from the beginning she was great, and you guys were like, we don't like her.
She does need to be parented a few times because she does random things sometimes.
But once. You guys cannot get over the one time she ran into the street.
That was really bad. And then she also shouldn't have used the phone to try to call her mom.
Come on. You guys do not give kids a break. She's a kid.
Nope. Not giving kids a break. Nope. No, that was a little more understandable because Alex was lying really bad.
Totally understandable. I think Ruby is a great kid. Any parent should love to have a kid like that.
Yeah. I hope she gets powers at some point, and then she can be like a sidekick, thing, but just a short period of time, someday down the road would be kind of cool.
No, okay, I make her regular. As far as I'm concerned,
I don't know what you would call her because we already got Supergirl, but Super Lass, I don't know. She might get powers. The world killer child.
Super Tween.
Super Queen. Is that what you said?
No, Super Tween.
Oh, Super Tween.
I think she's a teenager, right? So Super Tween.
I'm on my phone the entire time during fights,
Yeah.
taking selfies with the bad guys I beat.
All right.
Able to text in a single bound.
Raisa says, adore the Martians, but very tragic. And she says, Marin and Ruby are awesome. Yes, I agree. Yeah, the whole Jean Marin thing's been great.
Yeah, they've had really powerful themes throughout this season that really blow away all the other shows, except for Black Lightning. Black Lightning had some powerful themes, too. So they've really done a good job balancing it without seeming preachy like they did in Season 2. Mm-hmm. Season 2, they just were, like, way over the top. Like,
they were like Trump bashing in every other episode in season.
Yeah, I mean, just
you're right. They've struck a nice balance this season.
Yeah, they've struck a much better balance now, and that's better. People don't like themes are important in stories, but we don't want to be told what to believe. We want to be given things to think about and stuff, and come up with our own conclusions and stuff. You can't just tell people. You know, you can, but people don't like that, and it's not a good way to write stories. So.
Here's my favorite comment of the chat. Victor says, yes, Jeff is right about Ruby. She is written as a real teenage girl. Her superhero name can be Texto Girl.
I will say she is written like a real teenage girl, but like many teenagers, they can be annoying.
I don't find her annoying, though. I
never found Will
who?
The teenager on Star Trek Next Generation.
Will Wheaton?
Yeah, I didn't find him annoying, but a lot of people did. So
a lot of people can't stand his character.
I liked him, but I was young then, so when I watched it. So.
I don't think I minded him when I watched. Even now, I mean, he's actually really not that bad. He can be somewhat annoying at times, but
yeah, I don't think he's too bad.
He got better later on, I think.
Well, he's at his best when he wasn't on the show anymore, and he just came back in recurring. That's when the best episodes with him, actually. Well, they did the best writing episodes, I feel, with him when they brought him back when he was older.
Because the first 2 seasons, he was just saving the ship every week.
Oh, Jesus, he was not.
Right? It's like, this is the most incompetent crew in the world. This teenager's got to save us constantly. The Legion, Brainiac, and Saturn Girl and stuff. What do you guys think?
So pretty good. I mean, so we got to see Brainy and his human guys, right, or his holographic thing.
Yeah, and I met that actor.
Did you really, or are you just saying that?
I didn't meet that actor. Yeah,
right. Come on.
Yeah, did he offer you some cocaine or something?
Well, because remember it was smoking and cigarettes, so now it's cocaine.
Yeah. He did not offer me anything. I met him. I met him. I guess I technically met him twice, but I went to the set of Defiance before it premiered on television. I met him, but then I met him again. I didn't recognize him at first, but I met him when it was a dinner event thing Sci-Fi Channel put on. So
was he the kid, the alien kid on the Defiance?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have white hair in that too?
What's that?
Doesn't he have white hair in that as well?
Yeah, it was different style, but yeah.
He only does white hair rolls, all right.
He was doing that makeup stuff, yeah.
No, but he's good as Brainy. I don't know why Brainy has to like give Win shit so much, because Win's like super smart, but
I think he's just it's just
well, that's what
like,
Brainy is, because he thinks everybody's dumb compared to him.
Yeah, but I think he's not doing it like cruelly or anything.
Well, I don't know, but he is spying on him. That's not very nice. He tricked him and spied him.
You want to look out for him. He's worried about what's going to happen.
He did not. That's not the reason at all.
He's worried about him.
Yeah.
He likes Win. Want to make sure Win's okay.
Yeah. Santa Girl's cool. I didn't totally love the thing they did with her and Mon-El. I kind of would have rather have seen them stay together, and now they're obviously going to go back with the Mon-El Kara thing, which I don't really want to see.
Yeah, me either. I mean, I would have rather had them, just had Brainy stay behind and Saturn Girl and Mon-El go off.
I feel like Brainiac is coming back. I
feel like the whole concept was that they'll have a better chance against Rain and the Free if they had a member of the Legion with them. So that member of the Legion didn't have to be Mon-El. It could have been Saturn Girl or the other or Brainy,
Yeah, but Saturn Girl wants to go back to her sister that might be alive now. Mm-hmm. Brainiac is just kind of like, he's logical, maybe doesn't care as much. Let's get back to his time, perhaps. But I feel like Brainiac's going to come back. There was a casting call. I'm assuming it's for next season. It had Brainiac in it as the cast. So I don't know if he's going to be back or not.
Or unless maybe it could be a more villainous Brainiac that are in the current times for Supergirl.
Well, I mean the same actor. Pretty sure, Frank. But I think.
Okay.
We'll see.
Anyway, in the chat, Stormy just got here and says, super late to the show. I'll have to catch up. Well, thank you for watching. Victor says, I suggest watching Chaos on the Bridge. It's about the making of Star Trek Next Generation. I've never seen that. Oh, I want to check that out now. Lister's Mate says, Jeff, I appreciate you so much that I'm going to give you 21st century dirt and an awkward hug. Thank you, Lister's Mate.
I love that. Let's get a hug.
Listeners, that's the kind of hug we need to do when I see you. And yes, thank you for the dirt. I will treasure it always. Reza says, casting sides reveal Brainy staying next year, but not Mon-El. Interesting.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering. I think Mon-El...
Mon-El's going to die.
No, I think he's going to go back to his wife. I think he's going to decide.
I really like Mon-El this season. I mean, actually, I didn't mind him last season here, but he's really mature and growing a lot, and like Oliver.
Yeah,
I think it's probably to do with the facial hair.
He looks good with the facial hair.
Oh, I think what it is they kind of mature once the facial hair comes into play.
Yes, I agree.
That's when Marx matured. Yeah.
I'm very mature. My puns.
No, Marx is just a lost cause.
Speaking of facial hair, Stephen Amell did say that you're going to see the goatee next season. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, because there was a casting thing. She's probably is what she's seeing where Brainiac was listed as a regular cast member. Because they're looking for a new regular character that's going to be kind of a Catco character. He's actually transgender, which is going to be interesting to see how they pull it, how they do that. So. So yeah,
but it's actually good. It's actually good that they are doing that.
They're doing it. Yeah, I think they were at some kind of I cannot remember, some diversity LGBT kind of event thing where they had all the actors who play LGBT type characters from the CW shows actually there, talking about representation and such. And so I think CW is really happy with how that's going, and they're gonna just double down on that. And so.
Well, they do a great job on that, and it's written very well with those characters.
Yeah. That's one thing. These CW superhero shows have been very great at creating diverse cast in all sort of ways. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, what else we got to talk about with Supergirl?
I think it's it.
Her hair's gotten blonder.
What?
Her hair's gotten, Supergirl's hair it's gotten blonder. Well, she kind of, her hair wasn't as blonde in the first series as it is now.
I don't know. I haven't noticed. I don't pay that much attention to her hair.
I don't know. It's very well styled. That's all I know. Yeah. Well, I have to say, Alex's hair is probably the best styled of them all.
She's got a totally different hairstyle this year. She's like, it's longer on the one side, than.
Yeah. So yeah.
But it looks much better than Wally's. Way better than Wally, who's trying to do the same thing.
Oh yes, Wally. Yeah, that's not a good haircut.
Yeah, I just love how they can do all this heroic shit without a hair being out of place. I think that's just amazing. Right?
I can't go outside when the wind's blowing hard and not my hair get out of place, which was fine.
So I still love Alex. Honestly, I think she's one of my all-time favorite female characters.
She is, and that's something. She got an upgrade in her suit and guns, so that's pretty cool.
It's funny. Like in one of my, in one of the novel I'm writing right now, I actually have that same thing about like the hand thing and like the gun.
Oh yeah,
the hand. And I was like, all right.
They did something like that with Mockingbird and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. also.
Did they? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing. I like it though. It's a cool.
Yeah. So it's nice to see her get an upgrade.
Well, because now she can kind of handle with the super villains.
Although she really needs that exoskeletal suit thing that she wore that one time.
Nah, but this one looks cooler. It's more sleek and it's not so bulky.
It's a good design. So that's something I have to say. All the CW superhero shows in general, all their characters have great costumes. They do a good job on the costumes.
Absolutely. And her relationship with Ruby, has been really. I mean, obviously some strained thing but it was nice. It's been really nice, and obviously the episode where she was trying to help her, and then her and Marin, like you said. So that's been good too with Alex and Ruby.
Yeah.
And, I've liked the cape fighting. I think the cape fighting's been really cool.
That was
cool. They made a little bit too big of a deal about that, but yeah, that's been fun.
A little bit, yeah.
Like that's the only thing that's going to defeat Rain is cape fighting.
Yeah. Nobody can top cape fighting.
Everybody was cape fighting.
It's like scissor rock cape. It's
yeah.
Listeners Mate in the chat says Kat needs to come back somehow, even if it's just a small cameo, showing how her life has been affected by the World Killers. Yeah, we haven't seen her actually all this season, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see her.
I don't think so.
To be honest, it's
I can't remember if she was in the very beginning or if that was last.
She was on TV or something in the first
season.
episode.
Yeah, on TV, right?
I think so.
We didn't see Superman at all either this season.
Have we not?
No, we did not.
At all?
Yeah, it's probably still sulking after the sort of like
That's a shame.
having his butt
Yeah, you
kicked
think
by
he'd pop in
Supergirl
after
last
Rain,
year.
like maybe my cousin needs some help here because she's kind of powerful.
Yeah, that's always the problem they were gonna have with this. So you just gotta kind of pretend he's. It might be better to actually just to not have him on at all, because just to put him out of mind.
No, I want him to come back.
No, I know, and I loved it. You're right. The actor was perfect. It was a perfect portrayal of him. But the problem is the show is always going to be like, for number one, they don't want him to overshadow her, right? That would be her show. And they also, why is Superman not always coming to help?
He can't. She has cape fighting. He already trumps.
Right. He didn't learn that because he's not in the 31st century.
Yeah, he never learned how to do that.
Do you think that Lena's going to be able to help Sam though? Because that's something I've quite been enjoying. Is Lena's known about Sam being Rain for sort of like ages before she even told Supergirl. And you think she's going to be able to help her?
They're either going to cure her, or she's going to have to sacrifice herself or die or something to end Rain. It just depends. I almost kind of want her to die just so Ruby can be adopted.
See, I kind of want that too, because I think it'd be really cool. But Sam is really cool too, though.
She is, but if they cure her, she probably won't stay on the show. They probably won't.
Oh no, and then Ruby's gone too. Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of which, that actress has done a great job playing both roles. She does a good job transforming herself in a very different person.
Unless social services get hold of Ruby and Sam gets put in jail for being a poor mother
they wouldn't do
for
that.
wandering off as Rain.
Alex would definitely take her. I'm going to predict right now. Since I'm going to make a decision, I'm going to say actually Ruby is going to end up with Alex. That Sam is not going to survive.
That's what I would assume too, but who knows? It's kind of what I want. I hate to say that. I'm going to guess that way out of the two ways, like right now. Yeah, that's what I would guess too. And that Brainiac is going to come back, save the day, and swap places with Mon-El.
I'd rather have Mon-El, but all right.
I like Brainiac. I would like Mon-El to stick around too, but I don't think that they're going to do that.
Yeah, no.
Otherwise, Supergirl is like a marriage breaker or something. Homewrecker.
No, she's not. It's not her. She didn't do anything. And even, Saturn Girl said, you didn't do anything wrong. You got to go figure things out.
I know. But I don't think he's going to stick around as a regular.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna rate it.
Let's do it.
Well, I guess we'll just maybe just as a whole we'll rate these last few episodes that we've been talking about.
Sure. Yeah, that's right. We're not at the finale yet, are we?
Nope. We got 4 more episodes to go, folks, for the finale of Supergirl. Yeah. We do this out of capes, 4 capes. By the way, 3 episodes from now, the penultimate episode is called "Make It Rain," but spelled, rain. So you'll like that, Marx. Little punny there, kind of.
Yeah, I like it. It's just like shot through the heart.
Yeah, exactly. All right, out of 4 capes, Ian, what do you give these last few episodes?
I go 3.75.
Oh, very high. Wow, nice.
Wow.
Marx?
I don't know if I go 3.75 yet. See how it all pays off, but 3.5.
I'll agree. I'll go 3.5. I'll give some buffer room for like really awesome stuff at the end.
Yeah.
But all right, so we're all loving it though, and Victor says 4 capes for them all, or he's really loving it. Awesome, great. Glad you're enjoying it, Victor. All right, cool.
So let's create a lot of fan fight. If you had to rate all the shows this season in order, like 1 best, 5th least favorite, how would you rank them?
Well, that's funny. I was thinking about doing that same thing. You're in my mind.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I might be pregnant.
Martian Connection. I
Okay,
was rewatching our Carl
here you
Lumley
go.
interview. You know, he kept doing that, Carl Lumley.
Oh, yeah. He was great.
It was awesome.
Okay, Black Lightning, Legends, Supergirl, Flash, Arrow.
All right, Ian had no trouble doing that. So Carrie just says, I was driving and listening, so I couldn't join the chat. So far, the season has been a 3.33, is what he says for Supergirl. And then Gracie gives it a 3.25. All right, cool. Let me see here. The shows. Boy. This is tough, right? It's kind of tough.
It is tough.
I know my
Yeah.
number
Well,
one.
you know, I know that with you, Legends is probably going to be the last one. So
Yeah, we haven't even watched it all, so yeah.
Well, hey, but I gotta just rank it on what I've seen so far, you know.
Yep.
no!
What? Bebo? I like Bebo though.
Well, you love the last episode for sure.
Good, great. All right, can't wait to see it. In the chat, Carrie says Black Lightning, Legend, Supergirl, Arrow, The Flash. This is order.
Oh,
I'm
that's
gonna go.
same as Ian's in it. I think
I'm
pretty
gonna
close.
go. Raisa says same as Ian.
Ooh,
Well, look,
wow.
everybody's agreeing with you, Ian. Ooh, look at that.
Ooh.
All right, I'm gonna mix it up.
That's actually quite rare.
I'm gonna go Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, Black Lightning, Legends.
Wow. I'm going to say, oh man, it all kind of depends on how Supergirl ends. But let's say right now, close tie between Supergirl and Black Lightning.
No, wait, you got to make a decision.
So I'll say Supergirl first,
Okay.
Black Lightning second. I think I might actually say Legends third. Flash is a close fourth. And then Arrow is number 5.
All right.
Arrow was a no-brainer. This season was a big mess.
Lister's mate says Bebo loves Super Geeked Up. Thank you. Good. We love Bebo. Victor says I refuse to rate them from best to worst. They've been enjoyable for different reasons. That's a very fair assessment as well.
That's a fair, yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so I guess that does it for us for tonight. Thank you, folks, very much for joining us and for talking about, Supergirl and then the finales of Flash and Arrow. So I imagine, Mark, that maybe in about a month from now, since it's 4 episodes more in Supergirl, maybe we'll come back to do a Supergirl finale thing.
Yeah, we should, for sure.
All right.
When's
So we'll do
Supergirl finale?
When is it?
In a month from now.
It's June 18th. So June 18th is the finale. So I guess probably the Sunday after that, folks, which is going to be, just let me check the calendar here. That would be June 24th. And don't quote me on that yet. We're going to make sure schedule-wise, but around then is probably when we do
we'll
that.
talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll get it worked out. We'll definitely do one for the
But
finale.
we'll do one. So probably around that time,
Yeah.
give or take. And, well, we only have one show to talk about. That's weird.
That will be weird. Don't worry.
Yeah,
we'll bring up many
short
tangents.
show.
We'll still make sure it's more than an hour because we can't actually have it in an hour.
A regular hour is 60 minutes. An action hour, it's way more.
It's 3 hours.
Folks, this is Earth 2 time, where the time is totally different than
Yes.
the whole time. All right. Yes, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Ian, for joining us. Where can people check out Sci-Fi Pulse?
Sci-fipulse.net.
Easy enough. All right. And then, Marx, they can check out you at...
You can check me out on Twitter at Mr. Marks. Also, my website, marxpyle.com, where I also co-host a podcast named Genretainment, which is part of Sci-Fi Pulse Radio. You can also hear, if for some reason you can't catch the video of DC Action Hour, there is audio also on the podcast version of DC Action Hour.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. And we're currently working on the Sci-Fi Pulse Radio website.
Yes. Do a new website.
There's probably a while, but we're working on it, and you'll have all the shows on Sci-Fi Pulse Radio on that site. You know, Genretainment, DC Action Hour, and Sci-Fi and SFP now. So,
but you can search your favorite, like iTunes or something, and you'll probably find it. So,
and they're all on Google Play too. So,
sweet.
Yeah.
Of course, folks, supergeekedup.com is where you can find all our stuff. And my Super Geeked Up, Geeky Improv show, Super Knocked Up, everything else. We do gaming shows. And then our Patreon is patreon.com/supergeekedup. We always appreciate any amount you might be able to help us keep doing these geeky shenanigans. I know Victor in the chat and Lister's made are two of our Patreons. Thank you guys very much. All right. Thank you guys very much for watching. You guys rock. We really appreciate you. And we'll probably see you in about a month. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bebo! Bebo loves you!